cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a nice afternoon out there. Temperatures near normal in the low to mid 50s with lots of sunshine. Overnight tonight, we drop down to freezing again. But tomorrow, we see a warm up for Valentine's Day. Expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 62. And then rain arrives on Sunday morning and sticks with us for the bulk of the day.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 31 points to 49,079.
4 assists as well. How about another drive? Scoop it to the left. Evans, a ball fake and a three. Got it!
Stevenson left alone, left side three. Count it! Stevenson again!
Side handoff to Copeland. Glides, hand one, and the foul. Quadir Copeland rises up to the basket and scores.
Play it to Gossesbear. There's the horn. And Brandon Bussey, his second career shutout. His first shutout in his first game played at Madison Square Garden.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. Positive vibes on a Friday. Hopefully we're having a good time. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox back producing the show after a couple days abandoning us. But he's back for a Friday to round out the week the right way. And
that was harsh.
I mean, would it be better if I was like, it was great, he wasn't here? No,
hey, my body abandoned me the last couple of days, all right?
I'm supposed to be, like, it would be weird if I wasn't bummed. You know what I mean? Either way.
Make it sound like I had a say in the matter. I didn't.
Either way, the Olympics are going on right in the thick of college basketball. Obviously, the Caleb Wilson news, the ripple effects still being felt throughout college basketball. So without further ado, let's start right there in the ACC. 3 great games tomorrow in the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
We got a top 20 matchup in the area, by the way. All 3 games for the Triangle teams tomorrow at home. So number 4 Duke hosting number 20 Clemson tomorrow at noon. Clemson's probably not the 20th best team in the country, but that's what it says next to their name right now. So we're counting it as a top 20 matchup. Duke, I want to keep emphasizing this every time we have this conversation, just in case you hadn't heard the disclaimer the past few days. It's all relative. Okay, they're top team in the country, right? So when I say things like they've been underwhelming the last 4 games, it's by comparison to what I believe this roster with those players should look. There's not many teams in the country who can win 3 out of 4 games by double digits and have the one loss be to a top 15 team on the road at the buzzer and have me come in here and say it's underwhelming. But that's what Duke has earned. So with that being said, the Clemson game adds a little extra weight, right? You want to snap yourself out of non-dominant form that you've been in for the last 4 games, 2 weeks, whatever it's been. Because you don't measure yourself in where you finish regular season in the ACC. You measure yourself by do you win the tournament in the ACC, by how far you go in the NCAA tournament. Wes Durham, the voice of the ACC in many ways, was on with Adam Gold right before this show here on 99.9 The Fan, and he talked about Duke being the favorite in a pretty good conference.
Look, I think Duke should be the favorite to finish the regular season as the winner. They would be my favorite today to get to a Final Four. But I think the ACC, Adam, has 5 or 6 teams that can get to the second weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can get to the second weekend, this league makes a statement again about where it is and where its basketball prowess lies.
5 or 6 teams that can get to the second weekend? First of all, I agree with West Durham. But secondly, I would say this. 5 or 6 teams that can get to the second weekend means at least 5 or 6 teams that can beat anyone on any given night, right? If you're good enough to make it to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, you are nothing to be messed around with. That's why you keep the high bar. That's why you judge Duke against their own talent level, and why you say openly the last 4 games have been underwhelming. And a game like Clemson, you need to snap out of it. Tomorrow at noon. That's number 1. How about number 2?
Number 2.
Carolina. 11th in the country, but I mean, that's not the story. Hosting Pitt tomorrow at 2 p.m., which is obviously part of the story, but that's not the story. The story is Caleb Wilson. Yesterday, the news broke when we were live on air. Caleb Wilson, fractured left hand, out indefinitely. Now, obviously, over the last 24 hours, everybody has been trying to get some kind of timeline out of Carolina on could he be back for the postseason? Could he be back for the regular season? Is this something that could potentially cost him the season? And the reality is we don't have those answers. Definitely not concrete versions of those answers. We do have, cryptic tweets from Caleb Wilson saying it's not over. So at least it appears as if he is hoping to come back and still have an impact this season for Carolina. But the thing I know, right, and this one I can confirm, is that however long Caleb Wilson is out, they will miss him. That's what I know, because he is not a easily replaced player. And again, we turn to West Durham on the Adam Gold Show when he was asked where Carolina will feel the Caleb Wilson absence the most.
The production thing takes care of itself from the offensive end, okay? Guys will get shots, whether it's Jaron Stevenson pulling a Virginia now more than not, or Zayden High more minutes. Maybe it's Jaden Young. Maybe it's Jonathan Powell, whatever. Carolina comes down to Caleb Wilson was one of your best defensive rebounders, your block shot leader. He was a presence with energy. Seth Trimble is a terrific leader. That's why Hubert Davis was emotional last Saturday night. To me, who's the guy that's going to take the composite minutes of Wilson that turn into production on the defensive end and with just energy in the ball game?
I like that from Wes. I'm going to – my answer to that question would be slightly different. Where are they going to feel it the most? It's, to me, I'm going to use the term gravity. Right? When Caleb Wilson is on the floor, the gravity is drawn towards him, right? The defense's attention, the emphasis, everything is drawn towards him. And it takes a certain number 1 level player to handle that, right? To be able to overcome that attention. And we know, I'm a big Henry Vasar fan. There are players on that roster that are really good and have shown themselves to be really good. But it's one thing to be really good. It's another to be really good when the gravity is attracted to you, when you are the number 1 option, right? When you are drawing the opposing team's best defender, particularly at your position, when you're drawing the opposing team's help defense, right? When you're guarding somebody, because Caleb Wilson is also an elite defender, the guy wingspan for days. When you're guarding somebody and their first thought is, let's see if we can get him to switch off, right? Like when all of the attention is there, how do you respond? So, yes, they have other guys that can take shots. Like, Carolina is a blue blood, right? They're not recruiting, scrubs, even the guys on the bench. They're all basketball talented players. But there's another level when can you be the guy with all eyes on you? Caleb Wilson has proven that many times this year. So, guess what? I'd guess it's Vasar. It might be Trimble. Perhaps Jaron Stevenson. Whoever's at the top of that scouting report for Pitt, right? When Jeff Capel got together with his coaching staff and said, look at that. Take all our advanced scouting on Carolina and throw it away, or at least cross out Caleb Wilson's name with a Sharpie. Who are we circling next? That's the person that has to play the best. That's the person that has the weight of the world on their shoulders for Carolina. I would expect it to be Vasar. And we'll talk more about that game as the show goes on. That is number 2. How about number 3?
Number 3.
NC State versus Miami tomorrow at 4. It is a afternoon whirlwind in the triangle of ACC basketball, and the I was going to say nightcap, but it's really the late afternoon cap would be State hosting Miami. Miami obviously coming off the big win over Carolina. State coming off the big loss to Louisville. So, teams that are fighting different, I would say, social challenges, right? Miami has to avoid the hangover and thinking they're awesome. State has to make sure that Louisville game doesn't rattle any of their confidence that they have in themselves and should have in themselves. But I'm going to go back to what we talked about yesterday with Max on the show, which is I think this Miami game controls a lot of the narrative for State. If State goes out there and looks like they did the 6 games previous to Louisville, it's very, very easy for everybody to go, wow, that Louisville game, what a fluke, right? And almost not count it against you, right? The Olympics are going on, right? We throw out the highest and lowest scores. You just go take that Louisville game, put it away. Don't put that in the average. Take it off the resume. However, if you go out against Miami tomorrow at 4 p.m. in your home arena and you look more similar to the team that played against Louisville, I'm not saying you have to lose by 40, but you allow Miami to perhaps have another player break out with a career game, as you've had a bunch of times this year already. If you struggle shooting the 3, even though statistically you're the best three-point shooting team in the ACC, you shot 18% against Louisville. If you have another slow shooting night, suddenly that Louisville game isn't an isolated incident. So this Miami game kind of controls how we look at 2 games, right? It's a double. I'm letting State double or nothing, right? Ooh, that game, that was a bad one. Double or nothing. We play better on this one. Deal. Run it back. They play a lot better against Miami. Nothing. We'll forget that last one. Ironically, if you listen to Will Wade on his radio show this week, Wolfpack Weekly, could have heard it right here on 99.9 The Fan. He did say he didn't let the team double or nothing. Right? They have these conditioning runs, sprints that they have to do based on do they hit their team goals? And it's not just like, oh, did you win? There's, rebounding, loose balls, I assume, right? Those are all kind of the things coaches count. And if they don't reach their goals, they have to run. And Will Wade said this season they've been doing some negotiation. Like, hey, double or nothing. We'll run 2 or 3 times as much if we don't do it in this upcoming game. But if we do hit our goals this upcoming game, then we wash them out. And he's kind of let them play that game. He didn't let them do it after Louisville. He said, no, we're running for that one. But I think committee, I think public narrative, I think kind of how they are seen is letting them double or nothing. Go out there, play well against Miami, win, handle your business, play good defense, knock down threes, and the world will be significantly more likely to say that Louisville game was the Twilight Zone. Was it a full moon when they played Louisville? I feel like there was Mercury and Neptune in alignment or something. It was just a strange game. The tides were off. We'll write that off as a weird one if you show us that it was a weird one, and that's not part of your DNA. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I did mention the Olympics are going on. The women's hockey team just started up against Italy. No score as of yet. They're less than 2 minutes into that one, but we'll keep you updated.
Win or go home scenario now.
Yeah, they are into the knockout rounds. And as Adam Gold said on his way out of the studio, he looked at them and said, the most exciting hockey team to watch, Team USA Women. They've got some and one mixtape tour in them. They like to let's say stick handle and no look pass and put up some highlights. So hopefully they can keep it rolling against Italy. Again, like I said, we'll keep you updated on it and keep you updated on everything else going on in Italy. That's coming up next, right here on The Drive.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You've heard me talk about it before, my journey with Raleigh Weight Loss Center and my journey of losing over 40 pounds, 42 pounds to be exact, but most importantly, over 15% of my body weight thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And I know that we're already in the month of February, and a lot of people out there are probably still struggling with their New Year's resolution for weight loss and workouts and all that kind of stuff. Quit fooling around with that mess and give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call right now at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right, a free 15-minute phone call with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You got questions, you got concerns, you got health issues, bring it all to the table. Figure out if it's the right thing for you. That way you can move forward knowing full well that this is the right thing for you. You'll see results soon. Trust me, I did. In a matter of just days, I saw the weight melt off. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and priced to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Bringing it out of break with some vibes here, aren't you, Dennis?
Hey, you know what weekend it is.
Olympics?
Sure.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Valentine's Day Eve might be the appropriate way to say that. So we're gonna get sensual coming out of breaks today? Is that what's going on?
Why not?
All right. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Olympics are going on as we speak, and as I said, we'll keep you updated on the women's hockey USA against Italy. No score as of yet, still early, although the United States is up 4-1 in shots on goal. Dennis, I do want to get your thoughts on the Team USA men's hockey win over Latvia yesterday. But first, some of my, I don't even want to say favorite, but some of the biggest stories from Italy for Team USA thus far. Chloe Kim wasn't able to complete the trifecta. One of the best women snowboarders when it comes to halfpipe, all the big air, the crazy tricks in the history of the sport, was going for 3 straight golds at the Olympics and smooth cruised into the finals. First run, she's looking like she's in great place, right? Her first run score was the lead until right at the end. Third run, right, because it's kind of like you set your high score and then you can go try to beat it. Nobody could beat it until a 17-year-old Choi Ga-on, I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I apologize if it's off, from South Korea, bested her score by more than 2 points, which means Kim had to throw down. She went for it, ended up falling, finished with silver. That is, so in the last 3 Olympics, she's gone gold, gold, silver, which that shows you how good Chloe Kim is, right? Crowd dead silent. Everybody's sad because she's the second best in the world at what she does. And it's like, oh, how is she going to deal with it? That's how good she is. She's been the best for the last 8 years. She's fallen 1 spot. Oh, no. But, if you're not first, you're last. And I guess that would mean she's last. But, really tough and obviously very proud of her as a Team USA super fan. Speaking of, the women of USA curling defeated Canada for the first time ever at the Winter Olympics.
Let's go.
I don't want to make too big a deal about it, make Canada feel too special, because this wasn't even like for a medal or anything. But we beat Canada for the first time ever in curling. And as I've said a few times throughout the Winter Games, I just really, really enjoy when we beat other countries at things that they think are like their thing, right? When it's like, oh, winter sports, it's cold here, that's our thing. And then we're like, well, we have a multitude of climates, but we'll just show up and do what you do better than you. I like that. So take that, Canada. And then every Olympics there's a couple breakout stars, right? The ones who suddenly they're on the Today Show, right? Suddenly they are in endorsements, they're in commercials, they become superstars. Jordan Stolz on his way. I did a deep dive into Jordan Stolz today. United States speed skater, already has a gold this year, this Olympics, in the men's 1,000-meter speed skating. Set the Olympic record, 1 minute and 6.28 seconds. Already holds the world record. This dude could win, and depending on which article you read, is the favorite to win 4 golds. He already has the 1,000-meter, also the 500-meter, also the 1,500-meter speed skate, and then something called the mass start. You heard of the mass start in speed skating, anybody? This is like pure chaos. No lanes. Everybody's just sprinting. They give points at checkpoints. So, like, if you're in, I think it's a 2,000-meter race. If you're in first at the 500-meter, you get a certain amount of points. Second and third at the 1,000-meter. Like, at these little checkpoints, they're just passing out points.
It's kind of like NASCAR.
Yeah, it's kind of
lap sled.
Yeah, exactly. But it's very specific points. So you can kick at different times. Seems kind of chaotic. I'm here for it, though. And this guy, Jordan Stolz, unreal. Okay, he's 21 years old. Back the last Olympics, he was 17. He finished 14th in the 1,000-meter. He already holds the world record now and won the gold. But do you know what's crazy? The New York Times, because I have to kind of take their word for it. I've never been to the Netherlands. The New York Times says he is at least as famous as an NFL quarterback in America in the Netherlands, because speed skating is like their, that's their Super Bowl, ironically.
That's their sport.
Yeah, so he's Patrick Mahomes in the Netherlands. And obviously, because I follow sports as closely as anybody I know and had never heard of him until this Olympics, practically anonymous in the United States. And by all accounts, he's just a powder keg of superstardom that is waiting to erupt and be the next, like, Apollo Anton Ono, of those of you that are old enough to remember him from the early 2000s Olympics and the short track speed skating. The dude's about to be on Wheaties boxes. Let's go Jordan Stolz. And that's another example of, wait, so you're telling me the super famous ultra superstar in the Netherlands is an American from Wisconsin? Let's go, Jordan. All right, let's get to the Dennis. Let's get to your reactions. Right, we didn't hear him yesterday. We were yelling and screaming on air about the United States men's hockey team beating Latvia, and the goals that were then not goals, that was then goals, then were then not goals, because the refs kept going back to the booth and taking them away. They end up winning 5-1, which seems to be a USA. Like, the women, I believe in all 3 or 4 of their games, have scored exactly 5 goals.
Yeah.
So the men went out there and said, we could have scored 7, but we took a couple away to make sure we hit 5. That's what the United States does. What were your reactions to Team USA?
So I was actually quite impressed with the quote-unquote fourth line, which was Brock Nelson, Jack Hughes, and initially JT Miller, but you saw Vincent Trocheck skating on that line. I was super impressed with how those guys played and the instant chemistry that those guys had. Brady and Matthew Tkachuk, along with Jack Eichel, is going to be a dangerous line because those guys aren't afraid to play physical, but those guys obviously can score and put the puck in the back of the net. I mean, they're just as skilled as anybody as well. So I really like the way that those two lines played a bunch. Tage Thompson is just a massive human being. And then Quinn Hughes, that dude could just flat out play. I mean, he's all over the ice. I mean, he's good defensively, don't get me wrong, but obviously what he can do on the offensive end, even as a blue liner, is just... There's only one other guy in the world that can match that, and his name is Cale Makar. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's that much of a difference maker. He's absolutely fantastic. You just seen him out there, and Jacob Slavin is himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't take that for granted. One of the things I love about the Olympics is the storytelling. Right, you learn about people. You learn, the how'd they get here, the why'd they get here. You brought up Brock Nelson. You ready for a story of Brock Nelson? Brock Nelson scores a couple of goals. Could have been 3, right? He had one taken away. We should have seen it coming. And not like we should have seen it coming like, oh, he's been playing well as of late. We should have seen it coming like the moment he was born. Are you familiar with Warroad, Minnesota?
Yes.
A little town of 1,781 people, 1,700 and change people as the last census. That's where Brock Nelson is from. 2 goals yesterday. He is the 8th Olympic hockey player from Warroad, Minnesota for the United States of America. How absurd is that? The per capita is like, if you're born in Warroad, Minnesota, your chances are just like 1,000,000 times more than if you're born anywhere else of being an Olympic hockey player for the United States. I have a list here. I'm going to run through it because I think it's a crazy story. So obviously Brock Nelson, count him. His grandfather, Bill Christian, and his great-uncle, Roger Christian, were first-line forwards on the 1960 squad for the United States in the Olympics that beat the Soviet Union and Canada to win gold. His uncle, Dave Christian, was on the 1980 Miracle on Ice team and led them in assists as they won gold in Lake Placid. Another one of his great uncles, Gord Christian, played on the Olympic team in 1956. Gigi Marvin, who is not related by the article I read, but her youth coaches were from the Gord Christian coaching tree. Gigi Martin won gold with the United States women's team in 2018 and played in 3 Olympics. Her high school classmate, TJ Oshie, which he had a heck of a moment in one of those Olympics where he had 4 shootout goals in 6 attempts to beat Russia back in 2014. And then this one, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Henry Bucha brought silver back in 1972, also from Warroad, Minnesota, not related to the squad. That's insane. There's a town of less than 2,000 people. My high school had more than 2,000 people.
I think every high school here in Wake County has at least 2,000 kids.
Yeah, and if not, they're about to. They're probably wheeling in trailers to put out there and host them. And you want to hear the last crazier part? This is just me being excited. I might be pronouncing this wrong. Roseau or Roseau is another town in Minnesota. Roseau, Roseau. Roseau in Minnesota is the next town over. It's a bigger town. Has 2,700 people.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, a little over 2,500 people. They've had 7 U.S. men's hockey Olympians. So a little stretch up near Canada. This is 6 hours from Minneapolis, St. Paul. This is not like, you had 1 billion people in a little per capita. No, this is 6 hours from the big city in Minnesota. There is a 25-mile radius that has produced 15 United States hockey Olympians. And the amount of goals scored and plus minus and assists, you total them up, are crazy. So if you want to have an Olympian, you know where you got to settle. You got to go up to the middle of nowhere, darn near Canada, Minnesota, and make sure they're playing youth hockey for somebody whose last name is Christian, Nelson, or Marvin. They've got the path. And then Brock Nelson shows up. You brought it up. He wasn't the headliner for Team USA. What does he do? He goes out there and balls out. Why? Because doing it in the Olympics is nothing to him. His uncle did it. His dad did it. His grandpa did it. Everybody did it. USA. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something I'm looking forward to. Obviously, we're watching the winter games and all that, but something I'm looking forward to is when we actually get to the springtime and I can actually get the motorcycle out of storage and actually get back out there on the road. And something that I want for you as well, people that want to get out there on maybe on a motorcycle for the first time and go enjoy that experience, I have an opportunity for you to actually go win a motorcycle. That's right, because the Law Tigers are teaming up once again with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle, courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. Go to caniacsbike.com. Enter for your chance to win right there. caniacsbike.com. Enter right there. You'll see pictures of the bike. If you want to see it in person, swing by Art Moto Garage. They're located right here in Raleigh. caniacsbike.com. Bike will be given away live on the ice at the game on April 4th, and it includes tickets and a catered suite. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the Dean's List. Stick around. Coming up next.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes? Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
At the UPS store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I just want to know what playlist you're picking from, Dennis.
Oh, my own.
I was going to say, is this what is this labeled as on the I was going to say on the iPod, but that doesn't even exist anymore. iTunes, that doesn't exist anymore. On the iPhone. What is
Spotify?
Spotify,
No,
sure.
I just know what song to turn to. No playlist.
This is from my blank playlist. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time, before we get to the Dean's List, for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count. There you go, coming from all the way from Italy, where the Winter Games are taking place. As I update this to make sure we have the absolute latest numbers, we have a tie atop the leaderboard in total medals between Norway and the host country, Italy. They each have 18 total medals. United States has been pretty steady in third in total medals. We have 14 at the moment. Norway does break the tie with Italy for total medals by way of having 8 gold to Italy's 6. So 8 gold medals for Norway, 18 total medals, 6 gold for Italy, 18 total. United States, I don't want to say just, but we've been stuck on 4 golds for a while now. 4 gold medals, 14 total medals. We continue to rack up silvers. We have 8, which is most silvers out of any nation. We are still tied for third most in the gold category. Norway leads the way with 8, Italy 6. Then United States, France, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland, all with 4 golds. Still a lot of sports left to finish up, a lot of Winter Games left to go. So be sure to stay tuned here. We'll keep you updated with the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Now, without further ado, here on The Drive, let's jump into the Dean's List. The Dean's List, where we highlight those with some connection to the college sports world that we love so much here in what I consider the mecca of college sports, the center of the college sports universe, the Triangle in North Carolina. First, I'll go with NC State men's basketball. Josh Goodson said this on Twitter. He's the one that found it, and I assume it's correct. With Georgia Tech losing last night, NC State has officially clinched a spot in the ACC men's basketball tournament, which we would have seen coming for a long way Except after last season, it's hey, you want to avoid the absolute disaster. You want to avoid the, oh, no, we got to make changes. You got to make the ACC tournament. And obviously I expect them to, get a nice little break, not have to play at the beginning of the ACC tournament. But it's nice to know, even if the wheels fall off in a spectacular way, you can try to put them back on and go win the conference championship. It's crazy that a program like NC State ever didn't. But put that in the review. More Dean's List. How about R.J. Davis, former UNC guard? He has been named and will be playing in the NBA G League Next Up game. It's like their All-Star game as part of All-Star Weekend.
Oh, nice.
And
congrats to him.
Yeah, it's awesome for him, and it's an opportunity to showcase, network, do all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I saw he was on it. I was like, I wonder if there's anyone else local on the list. So I went and clicked on the rosters. Do you know what you learned quickly looking at the G League All-Star rosters? It's hard to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because you see some Hunter Dickinson, Norchad Omier, Alondis Williams from Wake, like dudes that you watch in college and you're like, that guy is a stud. He's in the G League All-Star game. And you realize that's like playing in the G League, and especially the G League Next Up game, is like you're in the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1% of basketball players. And you still can't, at least not currently, find your way into the NBA. It's hard, man. It's hard. Basketball is a brutal sport because the rosters are so darn small. And let's go!
Let's do that hockey.
United States women's hockey on the board first against Italy. Took over halfway into the first period, but it is 1-0. Do we know who scored the goal? I just saw the celebration.
I looked like Keller did.
All right, Keller. She had the A on her chest. I saw that. That's pretty. A little back and forth, little give and go action. All the way without the go. There you go.
Top of the circles.
I love it when it's already in the net by the time the goalie's head snaps back. It's like, oh, yep, little behind you. Little behind you. USA! USA! Keep it up. Pour it on. 100 goals. All right, back to the Dean's List. We'll move on from the Next Up game. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out there?
I'm going to throw out Paul McNeil. So this is actually our good friend Wes Durham that was on with the Adam Gold show earlier today. If you missed that conversation, great conversation between Wes Durham and Adam Gold. Wes was actually in studio. So it's up on our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. But he brought up something that I thought was kind of absurd when I heard it, but at the same time, it is true. Paul McNeil, the last game of the season between Miami and NC State was the final game of the year for those two teams, NC State and Miami.
You're talking last season?
Last season.
Okay.
Paul McNeil's the only person that will be playing tomorrow that played in that game.
Wow.
From March
of
team? Last year, for either side. The only one. Let that sink in.
I mean, like walk-ons on the bench, but that's really
no,
about
no,
it.
I'm talking about that played in the game. There are 9 guys that played for State, 8 guys that played for Miami. So of the 17 guys that played in that game last season, Paul McNeil's the only one that's going to play in it again this year.
Hey, loyalty, but also like coaching changes on both squads.
Yeah.
Both guys came in, obviously had some money to spend in the portal, went and got their guys. But I'd be lying if there are certain things that just never get normal. 2 ACC rosters, like these are good teams, just completely scrapped and started over. And even Paul McNeil last year, I think he played 8 minutes a game. Like he's not the same player that was there last year.
He scored 14 points in that game against Miami last year.
Towards the end, he definitely started showing that he should be a bigger part of the team, but that's crazy. And Paul McNeil's coming off an offer. He's coming off a 0-point scored game in that Louisville debacle, so he'll be looking to bounce back in a big way. Shooter. Paul McNeil. And then lastly, I guess for the Dean's List, I'm putting Trinidad Chambliss. Quarterback Ole Miss, beat the NCAA in court, was granted the injunction, so he will get a 6th year of eligibility. There were some debates about whether at his Division II school he was medically redshirted or just didn't play, and they had to go. He's getting 6 years. And the reason why I'm putting Chambliss on here, despite the fact that I hate how many old guys are just staying in college forever, is because it's not the player's fault. It's the system's fault. It's the administrator's fault. His NIL is probably going to be $5 million plus.
Oh, yeah. To start for Ole Miss again after the last season?
To start at Ole Miss and to turn down what I assume were advances by Lane Kiffin to follow him to LSU. Like, that's a premium. I assume he's getting $5 million. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Tell him not to try? But more importantly, you know what? This is the Dean's List winner. This is it's not actually Trinidad Chambliss. It's anybody that faces the NCAA in court, because they're batting like 98%. Like, the NCAA, they never win the first time, and they almost never win the appeal. It's crazy. And it's making, it's making the NFL's job more difficult. So next year, I expect CJ Bailey from NC State to be a player that NFL teams are interested in next year for the draft, right? He'd be leaving, if he does leave, after his junior year, true junior year. He's 4 years younger than Trinidad Chambliss. Right now, Trinidad Chambliss is 23. He'll be 24 by next season. Right now, CJ Bailey is 19. He'll be 20 by next season. They could be in the same draft class. So, of course, Trinidad's like, yeah, I would love to be compared with 4 extra years of development, 4 extra years of grown man body, 4 extra years of everything. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. There you go. Dean's List. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, this Italian goaltender is standing on her head right now.
There's been a couple women's hockey goaltenders that have had heck of some impressive performances in games that they eventually lost by a bunch because, let's just say, they're not helped out a ton by their skaters. Right now it's 19 shots on goal to 2. The United States is ahead of Italy, and the score is 1-0. Switzerland had a couple of those games with both Team Canada and Team USA, where the difference in scoring or shots on goal was 50-something to like 12. And this is looking like it's going to be another one of those games. And the goaltenders are getting a chance to put together quite a highlight film. The most impressive, 4-0, 5-1 losses that you could have. We'll keep you updated on the games. We'll keep you updated on the basketball tomorrow. I wish we had an update on Caleb Wilson's return from injury timeline, but we don't. So we'll talk about the impact of his absence and UNC's game against Pitt in a couple of minutes. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. How about this? Timeline of events. When your heating system, cooling system, plumbing, or electrical system in your house has an issue, breaks, an emergency, whatever it is, the timeline of events for Maynard Service Company getting to your house, I don't know the exact time. I'll give you this. It'll be pretty darn quick. They have 24 hours a day, 7 day a week, 365, 366 on a leap year, days service. That's comforting, right? And that's all across the triangle. That's all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction sprouting out from Wake County. And that's just peace of mind, right? Do you really want to have a plumbing emergency at 1 a.m. and have your plumber not answer the phone till business? No, you want to have somebody with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service, plenty of technicians that are available, right? So it's not like you're getting the guy coming out to save your house who's, on hour 21 of a 24-hour shift, right? You have technicians in bulk. They are part of your community, and they're coming from Maynard Service Company when you need it. All you got to do is give them a call. The number to save, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or check them out online, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We'll be back with a look at that UNC team sans Caleb Wilson. Bummer. Stick around.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Hey, everybody. Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Yes, indeed, the greatness is upon us. The world versus the world. So you want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on in Italy, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Whether it's the gold, the silver, the bronze, or not even a podium finish, you know it is the elite. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off. All the national anthems. And I didn't even mention snowboard cross, my favorite. There's so much more with the winter games in Italy. With FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm just gonna let this rock. I don't know. I don't even.
It's Barry White. Why wouldn't you?
I don't want to step on his toes at all. Just the inhale on the song. Just let. Do you want us to edit out that breath you took? No.
No, it's written in the lyrics.
Make it louder. Boost the audio. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's for Valentine's Day tomorrow, everybody. We're not just letting that linger. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, although why not? Carolina, number 11 in the country as it stands right now in the rankings. That'll change by this time next week. They're hosting Pittsburgh tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Caleb Wilson injury is brutal, right? And you never want to say something like it's worst case scenario because there's always, multiple injuries, worse injuries. There's always a worst case scenario that is a little bit more brutal, but this one is pretty darn bad. There are not many players in the entire country for college basketball who are more irreplaceable to their team than Caleb Wilson is to Carolina. Their biggest wins, like the Duke win is the best example of it because it's that game, it's that rivalry, it's their biggest win. But there's more than a couple where their biggest wins they don't even have a chance for if there aren't stretches where Caleb Wilson kind of solo dolo puts the team on his back and says, I got this. I won't let us fall too far behind. I'll keep us within striking distance. Or I'll be the one to slam the door and make sure that this team doesn't have a comeback in them. And without that, I don't know what their season looks like. And that's the unknown that they're going into beginning tomorrow, 2 p.m. against Pittsburgh. And the nature of college basketball, particularly in the ACC, particularly the ACC this year, where many teams have bounced back and it's a stronger conference top to bottom than it's been in recent years, it's you have to fix the engine to your car while driving 80 miles an hour down the highway, and you can't slow down. And Caleb Wilson, make no mistake about it, was the engine. I don't want to disrespect any player, so I won't name names, but there are certain players where if they get hurt, that's the rearview mirror. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess I'm going to have to turn my neck to look to before I merge. Like, it's a bummer, and it'll impact you, but it's not the end of the world. Caleb Wilson is the engine. You're going 80 miles an hour down the highway. You're not allowed to slow down, and there's smoke coming from the engine, and you're popping the hood and hanging out the window trying to fix it. It is high leverage. It is high stakes. It is dangerous, and you got to find a way. Trial and error is kind of the way I look at it. Starting tomorrow at Pitt, figure out, and obviously it's not like you've never played a 5 without Caleb Wilson, but you've always known we can go back to Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, you can always sub him back in.
Yeah, if things get too bad, hey, finish your Gatorade and get back out there, Caleb. So, after a season, which really until a handful of games ago was defined by Carolina basically doing trial and error with rotations around Vesar and Wilson and Trimble, although he was in and out with the injury. Like a season that was trial and error of rotations finally seemed to get settled like 6 games ago. And now you're right back to it, only you're taking away one of the most important pieces that you didn't have to experiment with. So if I were to guess what's going to get the first run, I'd probably go Jaren Stevenson. You're doing your best Caleb Wilson impression, right? You're moving down to the 4 because one of the things that Jaren Stevenson brings is height, athleticism, right? He's a stretch 4 that was kind of playing the 3. So I'd give him the first crack at the 4 and then figure out, similarly to what you were doing, how you want your perimeter to look. But I don't think you go in with just that option. I think you experiment with small ball, right? Somebody like Jonathan Powell, can he play the 4? Somebody like Luka Bogovic, can he play the 4?
You almost have to revert back to what Hubert Davis did last year where he had to have a small lineup just because that's how his roster was built. If anyone can adapt to it, it should be Hubert. That was his roster last year.
Because that went swimmingly. That went very well.
I mean, he got to the ACC championship game, But you can at least, again, you can manage it until Wilson's able to return whenever that is.
And we don't know when that is, which is the other scary part. And maybe they know more behind the scenes, right? Because it's a completely different beast if you know, hey, this is a 2.5, 3 week injury, right? Or hey, in 2 weeks he could be playing with a brace or something. Like it's a complete. Then you're not looking for permanent solutions. You're looking for Band-Aids, right? You're looking at matchups and saying, how can we get by against Pitt? How can we get by against this specific team? But if it's like indefinite, like it's being given to us, like we don't know. Could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, could be season ending. We don't know. Like if it's truly indefinite, they don't know. Then you do have to look for permanent solutions, right? Are you 4 around 1 with Vesar down low? Does that take away Henry Vesar's 3-point shooting, which has been an asset this year? Gosh forbid, do you start drawing up your contingency plans for what if Vesar gets in foul trouble? Is Stevenson playing the 5? Are there any other creative options you can come up with? Like, are you pressing? Are you running on everything? Like, what's the move? And do you know what? Like, I also want to do this, and I joked about this yesterday. Saying like my wife is a therapist, and hey, like UNC fans, like let yourself feel emotions, let yourself be bummed out, right? And I don't even know if I'm joking there. Like, there's a lot of truth. Like, this is a brutal blow to your team if it's more on the serious end of the range of outcomes here. But do you know what actually bums me out the most? It's not that Caleb Wilson is like a future NBA player and he's unbelievably talented and you like watching good basketball, but all that is true. The thing that bums me out the most is it's not a guarantee that the top one and done players embrace college basketball the way Caleb Wilson has. Right? He didn't grow up around here. He's from Georgia. Right? He cares about the rivalries. Right? He's willing to talk some trash and put his reputation out there. He cares. He played through the injury. He fractured his hand, got it taped, went back into the game. This is a guy with an NBA future. Right? After you can tell after tough losses, it hits him. And not every player of his ability is like that. There's a lot that, and I don't want to say a lot, and I don't even want to name names because that'd be mean. But there are players that have his future NBA potential who lose a game in college and go, shoot, I ain't going to be here next year. Right? They lose a game and go, yeah, but you see me, I had 22 and 12. Agent stoked. I'm going to talk to him after the game. No, he's not that. He plays hard. He puts his body on the line. He embraces college basketball seemingly for all the right reasons. Like this is how the best thing I can say about him and how he embraces college. If he goes on to be a 10-time All-Star in the NBA, I think you'll still see him around Chapel Hill in the off seasons. You know what I mean? Or if he has a Duke teammate or a state teammate on his NBA team 10 years from now, like one of them is going to be wearing like a hoodie for the other team after their game, right? Because they're going to have wagered that at the post-game presser you have to wear the gear of the other team. Like he's going to be there, and I think that's cool. And the fact that he won't, like, he's only going to be here for a year, right? I'm not saying he loves college so much that he's passing on going to the NBA. He's only going to be here for a year, and to take away, even if it's like 5 games from his ability to embrace the year that he's in college, that's a bummer. Because he's in it, and I respect that. We have Wes Durham, the voice of the ACC, who was on with Adam Gold earlier today on the Adam Gold Show here on 99.9 The Fan, and he was asked where UNC will feel the absence of Caleb Wilson the most.
The production thing takes care of itself from the offensive end, okay? Mm-hmm. Guys will get shots, whether it's Jaron Stevenson pulling a Virginia now more than not, or Zayden High more minutes. Maybe it's Jaden Young. Maybe it's Jonathan Powell, whatever. Carolina comes down to Caleb Wilson was one of your best defensive rebounders, your block shot leader. He was a presence with energy. Seth Trimble is a terrific leader. That's why Hubert Davis was emotional last Saturday night. To me, who's the guy that's going to take the composite minutes of Wilson that turn into production on the defensive end and with just energy in the ball game?
The energy piece right at the end there from Wes Durham is interesting because, sometimes you think it's fluff. Sometimes you think it's just hyping up a guy. Everyone around Carolina's program says Caleb Wilson is the energy leader for that team.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, he's the engine.
Whether it's practice, whether it's games, walkthroughs, he's bringing whatever energy they have, he's the one that's kind of leading the way.
Even with the student body.
He decided it was going to be a whiteout, and it just became a whiteout at their game against Kansas.
Yeah.
That was not the promotions department. That was not marketing. That was a freshman who had played like 5 games in his career, just ignited a fan base. Like that's he's a really, really good basketball player, right? It's more difficult to replace his basketball talent. But it's not easy to replace the energy or the vibes, the enthusiasm that he also brings. And we'll be watching as they try to tomorrow against Pitt. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 comes up next. I give a challenge to Panther fans out there. A mandate, a demand. Stick around.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and priced to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Plus, free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Pretty afternoon out there. Mostly sunny skies with highs in the low 50s, which is near normal. It's cold again tonight. We drop back down to just below freezing at 30 degrees. But beautiful weather for Valentine's Day. We'll see a high of 62 under mostly sunny skies. Sunday looks like a soaker. The rain begins in the morning and stays with us most of the day.
Weather update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 49 points to 49,500. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. There's a lot of other stuff going on. Olympics. There's hockey stuff going on. There's college basketball. It's why we make sure we reserve a part of the show to talk pigskin, so we don't get distracted or carried away and spend too much time away from the gridiron. And football at 4 today comes with a challenge. Sometimes you gotta put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Don't get complacent, which actually kind of plays into the challenge I'm about to issue. Pretty unanimously, I've seen from Panther fans, from NFL fans when they talk about the Panthers, analysts, whatever, that it's a positive that the Panthers are extremely stable this offseason, right? It's such a stark contrast from most of the David Tepper owning the Panthers era that it's a positive refresh that the head coach, the quarterback, most of the key players, from what I've seen, darn near, if not all, of the key assistants and coordinators and coaching staff and front office and everybody seems to be returning next year. They are, like Darrell Bevell being added. We talked about it earlier this year. That's a nice, fresh voice, new offensive mind to show up, somebody that Dave Canales trusts. But I want to Like in the interest of looking at things from every angle, they went 8-9, right? That's a huge improvement and a positive on where they are, but it's not like that's perfect. Let's run it back. Let's do the exact same thing. Let's have the exact same people. Let's do everything exact. Nobody move. So the challenge is I'm forcing 3 noticeable changes. I want you to hope for, wish for, imagine 3 noticeable changes that you want from the Panthers. Because if the people aren't moving, right? If the positions aren't changing for the main characters, you better think differently or do something different or plan differently. Like I need something different, or else you should expect 8-9 with some close victories, some blowout losses, and at the end you're at least watching the second round of the playoffs. If the division's a little better, you might be watching the playoffs. So I have a list of 3. Dennis, do you have a list of 3?
I have some things, yeah.
Perfect. And everybody else, if you want to contribute, we want noticeable changes you want to see from the Panthers. You can go ahead and send them to us on Twitter. My handle is @DonnellySports, DONNELLY Sports. You can also get them to us on our YouTube live stream comments. That's 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Jump on the live stream, comments right below. This one is going to be the most calloused, so I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. Most cold-blooded business. Cut A'Shawn Robinson. It's a business. You need cap space. I talked about this not that long ago, but because the Panthers had a surprisingly good season, they got hit with a ton of incentives on contracts. So, play X amount of the percentage of snaps and also make the playoffs, and you get another couple million. Like there were a lot of that in there, and a lot of players hit them. And because they were deemed unlikely to hit incentives, that all hits next year's cap. So what looked like they were going to have a pretty good amount of cap space shrunk pretty considerably, and you can get pretty much all of it back and a little bit if you just cut A'Shawn Robinson. That's not to say A'Shawn isn't a really good player, but it's to say that he's the easiest way to get cap space that you're going to need to improve the roster. So cut A'Shawn Robinson is my number 1 watch and also number 1 change, and also he's really good. And, Dennis, before we hear your first change, the United States did score again. So we're up 2-0 women's hockey over Italy. Looks like it was a little rebound. Goalie got lost. Thank goodness the goalie got lost because she's been playing lights out for Italy.
Yeah, she has been.
All right, what change do you want to see from the Panthers?
The change I want to see, or not necessarily a change, but something I want to see happen, I want them to be aggressive in the draft.
What do you mean by that? Trade up?
I actually would like to see them move up to somewhere around 13 or 14 in the draft to take somebody as opposed to just waiting. I said this on Panthers Playbook. It came out yesterday, so it's out there. I'm on the record stating this. If a player like Sonny Styles, I know he's an off-ball linebacker. I do not care. Sonny Styles from Ohio State, if he's there at 13, and I did the math on this, so the NFL draft, everyone has like an assigned value number to every single draft pick in the draft, right?
That's an old Jimmy Johnson relic, but yes.
Yes, but teams still use that. So where the Rams pick at 13, which Dan Morgan has already shown to have a relationship with the Rams, having multiple conversations in previous drafts and having traded with them in the draft in the past, the Rams pick at 13. Move up to 13. You can use your 19th pick, move up to 13. Then you swap your second-round pick, so you move from 51 in the second round down to 61. And then you only give up your third-round pick to do so to get 13. If Sonny Styles is there at 13, make that happen. I want a playmaker in the front 7. Doesn't have to necessarily be an edge rusher, but I want them to have a playmaker in that front 7, somebody not named Derek Brown. I want something that's going to benefit and make the defense better because of Derek Brown.
This is interesting.
And playing behind him.
And I think it's probably the different ways you and I look at the draft. My second change that I wanted to see, tangible, noticeable change, is draft and start a second-round off-ball linebacker.
Same mindset. I know Bob here was saying Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech.
Jacob, and I don't know if he'll be there or not because he was wildly productive. He was a darn near Heisman candidate. But the reason why I didn't go with the trade up, or I don't even really want him to consider it at 19, is because I think you're giving back some of your advantage. Like, you have Luke Kuechly in the building. You have Dan Morgan running the show. Tell those two guys to go in a room. Nobody else has any say. Pick a linebacker in the second round. Like, those two guys should be able to find somebody that you can slot in day one, start, be excited about, and other teams missed, because I don't know Luke Kuechly is pretty widely considered the smartest linebacker of the last however many years. And it's not like Dan Morgan was out there not knowing where to go, right? He knew the game as well. And they both played that position. So, off-ball backer, I kind of said, like, go star hunting in the second round is where I had him looking for.
I'm fine with that.
Next change for you.
Don't re-sign Nick Scott.
Interesting.
Don't re-sign Nick Scott, because Ejiro Evero loves his guys, even though they might not be that good, or the ceiling for these guys or your team as a whole isn't very high when these guys are on the field, a la DJ Johnson.
Yep.
Don't re-sign Nick Scott. Do not. You need something better at free safety. I don't care if you give Lathan Ransom an opportunity or if you draft or sign somebody. I do not care, but do not re-sign Nick Scott. I'm sorry.
I love the way you're wording that, right? I love the logic of, like, putting yourself in a situation where you have to fix it, right? So you didn't say, go find a safety. You said cut Nick Scott. Don't bring back Nick Scott.
Don't bring him back. He's a free agent. Yeah. Do not re-sign him.
And what that does is it puts you in a situation where you have to solve that problem, right? It's similar logic to this, and this is what popped into my brain when you said it. Early in my career, I was in a very small market. No disrespect to the small market, but I wanted to get the heck out of there, right? I wanted to career ambition, wanted to get closer to family, wanted to get the heck out of there. And as a little motivational tactic for myself, I just started packing. I had no job offer. I had I took my bed frame apart. I put the mattress on the ground, and I was like, we're on our way out, right? I didn't give myself the option. Borderline, told the I'm not coming back next month. Like, I'm getting out of here. Like, that's what sometimes you need. And then you don't have a choice but to figure it out. You know what I mean? You don't have a choice but to solve that issue. So it's like, not only do I want you to get a new safety, I want you to not give you any other options but to get an improvement at safety. So move on from Nick Scott. Don't have a placeholder that your safety net is there.
You saw that last year with DJ Johnson. Remember, he played the game, played way more snaps than Nick Scorton and Princely Umamielen against the New England Patriots, and finally, you know what? We're just going to have to cut this guy, because otherwise we need these young guys to play.
United States just scored again. We're up 3-0 women's hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
3-0 women's hockey against Italy. This is the knockout rounds. So winner win advance, loser goes home. Pretty darn good. Oh, it's Kendall Coyne. She's been around for a long time. Last one I had is this. I want Jalen Coker to play 80% of the snaps, and I want him to move into, not officially, but kind of like the tight end wide receiver hybrid role that players like Puka Nacua play, where they're doing a lot of motions, they're blocking when they have to. He's a bigger dude. He's very similar in height and weight to Puka Nacua. They're both good in contested catches. They can both work over the middle. And I'm not saying do exactly, he's Puka. Go get him 1,800 yards or whatever it is. I think Matt Stafford has a lot to do with that. But and Sean McVay. But study what Sean McVay does there, right? I think Coker has now established himself as a player, and now the discernible change is I don't want him playing a position. I want you creating a position that best takes advantage of what he does, because he and Tetairoa McMillan, if you use them to their best ability, they can be special, right? I think they can be the core of a really good pass-catching unit, supplement it with speed elsewhere on the lineup, maybe a pass-catching tight end. But I want you to study Jalen Coker. I want you to study Brock Bowers. I want you to study, bigger dudes that pretty much play that big wide receiver position, and then use Jalen Coker in that role. Tetairoa McMillan, obviously, downfield, highlight reel, that kind of stuff. Did you have another change you wanted to get at, or is
a real quick one?
Yep.
That I would like to see him, but necessarily a change, but draft an offensive tackle in the first 2 rounds, or first 2 days of the draft.
Okay. Yeah.
But because they haven't drafted an offensive lineman in several years, and they need to draft an offensive tackle.
I agree with that in a big way. I have no clue what that market looks like yet, so it's hard to say. Like first round, second round, third round. I do know that there's supposedly some depth in tools at tackle. Not a lot of depth as far as like complete prospects, but there's a lot of guys who's like they're great mountainous balls of clay. Like, you know, he's 6'6", 340 and can run. He did give up 4 sacks in the Big 12 last year. So it's like it's you got to do that if you're picking obviously beyond the super elite at the top. So we'll see how
Let's
it goes.
do that hockey.
Another one? Did Keller score again? 4-0 Team USA over Italy. The shots on goal as it stands right now, women's hockey out there at the Winter Games, is 27-2.
Yeah. Edwards scored.
Edwards, way to go. Keller was on the assist. 4-0, that's pretty dominant by Team USA right here. Italy, the host country, it appears they're running into a wagon at the moment, and nothing you can do about that. Third period, enjoy it. There's still 14 minutes left in the second period. But if I'm Italy, I'm like maybe a goal or two away from posing for pictures and things on the ice and just making sure I remember it because, no guarantees you make it back to the Olympics next time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Yesterday, they had a actual USA Hockey watch party where they enjoyed a win over Latvia, and obviously, it took place. The game and the party were going on during the show, so I wasn't able to get out there. But I had representatives, and they said it was a great time. A bunch of our listeners were there, by the way, so shout out to everybody for, I always say when I talk about Bailey's Fine Jewelry, let them know you heard about it from me. Apparently, a bunch of you did that. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Hopefully, some of you bought the watch of your dreams, and at least many of you honed in on what the watch of your dreams is, right? You tried on the pre-owned and vintage Rolex, the beautiful iconic Omegas. You maybe even tried on something you weren't used to, something maybe newer like a Norcane, or any of the many unbelievable wristwear, luxury timepieces at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically at their Village District location in Raleigh. So hopefully you enjoyed the party. If you missed the party, it's always a party, really, at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. You can always grab a drink. You can hang out. They got snacks. They got areas to listen to music. And they have the best watch selection for miles and miles and miles. Just go ahead and let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. When you're in the Village District location, that's where the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is, inside Bailey's. We'll take a break. When we come back, it is. It's time to start thinking about it, everybody. Brandon Bussey isn't the only Kane that can get an extension on this Olympic break. What would an Alexander Nikishin extension look like? Stick around.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Field makes their way into the tri-oval. The pace vehicle makes its way to the pit lane.
Writes another chapter.
Front of the field. Several cars go flying through the air. Ryan Preece is upside down.
In the history of the great American race.
William Byron wins the Daytona 500.
It's the Daytona 500.
Coverage begins Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on 99.9 The Fan.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Talk about stepping up! Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There you go. Happy Valentine's Day Eve, everybody. Think there's some sweet talk going on right now between Alexander Nikishin's agent and Eric Tulsky?
Oh, there should be.
Think they're sending the little chalky candy hearts that say, like, be mine. Stay forever. Don't leave me. Do you think they're passing Valentine's back and forth?
7 years.
Yes. They, I might do it. I don't know if that's allowed. Sending flowers and everything. Just thinking of you. Can't wait to see you again. It's an interesting time for contract negotiations in the NHL because there's a roster freeze, so you can't trade players. There's certain restrictions on what you can do because of the Olympics. However, that doesn't say anything that you can't do extensions. You can't write extensions. You can't negotiate extensions with the players that are on your roster. And, yesterday, Max and I, when Dennis was out, we did a draft of storylines of the first 2/3 of the season for the Hurricanes. And Max had the first pick, and the first thing he said was Brandon Bussey, right? So because Brandon Bussey is the biggest story of the season, and he also needs a contract extension, needless to say, when a situation occurs like I just described, right? Oh, you can't trade, you can't do this, you can't do that, your players aren't in the facility, but you can negotiate extensions. Everyone's mind goes to, perfect, Brandon Bussey. And we've had that conversation a few times here on this show. We're not we're not super special or different there. Dennis, I don't know how many times he said 2 years, $4 million per. Sounds about right. Like we've had those conversations. A little bit more. We've found comps. We've done as much as we could to talk Brandon Bussey. But are we ignoring a equally and definitely more money extension that should also be on the front burner, not on the back burner for Eric Tulsky and the Canes? What does an extension for Alexander Nikishin look like? Now, I'm not even pretending like this is a similar situation, but anytime I'm involved in anything of a trade, if you're selling a car, trading it in, if you are in fantasy football making a trade, if you are a Pokemon card collector, I don't know, anything involving a trade, what's the rule, right? Don't say the first number. But somebody always has to. What's the first number? Alexander Nikishin's agent calls up Eric Tulsky. Let's say they are just Valentine's Day sweet nothings. Hey, happy Valentine's Day Eve. What are you up to? I don't know. What are you up to? They play that game for a little bit. And then finally, so is there anything specific you want to talk about here? Dennis, I have a number here that is, I don't think, outlandish, but I want to hear yours first. I promise that I won't change it. It's written down, hands above the keyboard, whatever you want. What do you think is a appropriate number for Alexander Nikishin?
Depends on the length of the contract.
Tell me what's the appropriate length. Like that, you are the architect here, and I'm not asking for it's not like you're not allowed to change your mind. But you're spitballing. You're having a Valentine's Day call with the agent, or you are the agent. Which one are you kind of looking for as fair?
I think what's fair right now, for based off if I'm Tulsky, I think what's fair is 2 times 5.
So you're going kind of bridge with it.
Bridge deal. Gets me through arbitration. Gets me through restricted free agency. 2 times 5.
Now, let me just clarify for everybody here. Are you doing that as you're thinking like Dennis Cox, the GM, or are you thinking how you believe Eric Tulsky is thinking?
This is how, a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'm trying to put my Eric Tulsky hat on for the sense of that allows you, with the way that in a couple of years that that Jordan Martinook is coming off the books. Jordan Stahl is coming off the books. You also have the contract extensions of Jackson Blake and Logan Stankoven kicking in, and just the way the cap jumps up in a couple of years. Yes, you do have Shane Gostisbehere and Jalen Chatfield signed for next year as well, but let's say I do want to make a move to get another goaltender to come in, or I need to go make a move to get a big score, and I need that little buffer for the cap to go up. That's why I say 2 times 5.
It's
because that gets me him to age 27, and I still get him for his prime years if I want to sign him to a 7-year extension.
The only reason I asked the follow-up question on kind of who you were thinking of is we've seen them with Stankoven and Blake kind of recently go, now let's bypass all the bridge deals. Let's just go straight to the super long-term. It's a little bit different because they were aware that there was a ticking clock on being allowed to give somebody an 8-year deal, so they wanted to get that in, and now it's 7 is the max you can give even your own guys. I still think they might want to go 7 with Nikishin if they can get him to agree.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then
don't get me wrong.
And then you're probably somewhere around 8 per, maybe a little bit more, because Nikishin is seeing himself, and I'm sure his agents are, as good now, potentially great later. And if you're going to want the great at a discount, which is the reason why you'd sign a long-term, you probably got to pay a little bit more for the good at the moment. The number I wrote down was 7 by 8, and that seemed crazy. But there is, I think, a bunch of different worlds where 3 years from now we're looking at 7 by 8 as an extension for Nikishin and saying, goodness gracious, that's an unbelievable contract. The issue is how it looks, I think. Right? The issue is Keandre Miller's the highest paid defenseman right now on the roster at 7.5. The issue is there's only Aho and Ehlers making more than $8 million per year on the entire roster. And then you're getting into, like, where does he rank in the league? And it's just not his fault, but it's such a small sample size, and it's so much projection. So I guess maybe thinking from the agent's perspective, I think I would go 7 by 8. And if they say, no, we're not anywhere close, then we're probably both looking at the deal you described, something much shorter where I can go, fine, if you don't think I'm good for it, then let me bet on myself. Let me get a little bit of change in my pocket now and watch what I ask for after 2 years. Because keep in mind, Alexander Nikishin's skill set is more designed towards getting big money. He's got some offense to him, right? He scores goals. He's going to be quarterbacking a power play, right? If he hits I don't even want to say 100% of his potential. If he hits the upper third of his potential, he has the stats that agents point to and ask for a lot of money. Part of the beauty, if there's 17 different kinds of beauty, but part of the beauty of Jacob Slavin for the Canes is he's such a great defensive defenseman, but he doesn't score a lot of goals, which I think artificially keeps the price down for him on the market, even though it shouldn't. But from a team perspective, you're like, great, right? You prevent 2 goals a game rather than scoring two goals a game, and that costs a quarter as much as it would if you scored the 2 goals. And it's on the scoreboard, it's the same impact. Nikishin is much more likely to score a goal than many other defensemen. And as we've seen throughout history, if you're a defenseman that puts up a whole bunch of points and scores a whole bunch of goals, you're more expensive. 2 years of scoring a bunch of goals, watch out for what that could cost later. I'm fascinated what the analytics say about Nikishin, right? I am not the calculator guy. I'm much more of a vibes and film guy. Even football, which I understand much more. I like to watch tape much more than I like to study numbers and analytics and everything. And we know that the Canes do value analytics. I'm fascinated by what the numbers say about Nikishin. Because there's no doubt in my mind the hockey guys, like the people that, if you've ever seen the movie Moneyball, the ones that are like, oh yeah, but he looks good. Oh, but he's got a good thick legs and he's effortless. Like, those guys love Nikishin. I want to know what the analytics say, because that could decide how much they're willing to pay. But I'll also give you this. I think both sides of that equation are kind of hardball negotiators. Remember how long it took them to agree to an entry-level deal last year? If it took you that long to agree to a deal that we pretty much all knew what the numbers were going to be, it could be a little knockdown, drag-out, hardcore negotiation for a deal as big or as bridge as we just discussed. But there's nothing but time right now, right? You watch one game every couple days of the Olympics, and other than that, you spend it either talking to Bussey's agent or Nikishin's agent. That's how I would spend it if I were Eric Tulsky for the first week or two, and then you start calling about trades. Anything you'd like to add about a potential Nikishin deal, Dennis? I see you're reading. I see the eyes going across the computer.
Yeah, I'm just looking across and just looking at the cap projections and all that kind of stuff for upcoming years and all that kind of stuff. I mean, right now they're sitting at about $16 million in cap space going into next year. But again, you still have to worry about a Brandon Bussey contract extension. Do you make a trade that brings someone in that's going to eat into some of that cap space? And there are a couple small, like for example, you'd still need to add in like another like a 13th forward, all those kinds of things. But there's also ways to create cap as well. Like if you wanted to, if you traded Jesperi Kotkaniemi or bought him out, those are all options too.
That's actually a great point. One of the great points is I think that's why they wanted, and multiple insiders said it, they wanted to get, if they were going to make a big trade, they were itching, meaning the Canes were, to get it done before the Olympic deadline, the Olympic roster freeze, because that would give them much more of an idea on where their cap space needs to be allocated in the future, right? If you did make the Panarin trade, you would know, all right, we $12 million a year for the next however many years we got to have ready for him. If you did make one of those other big swing trades, you would have had a better idea of it. They didn't get it done, so there's more unknown there. So even the numbers you're saying, we don't know how realistic it is. They might have another, gigantic player on the roster that they need to pay for. And there may be more cap savings from the players they send out for that gigantic player. We don't know. And I'm not sure they do either, which makes it more difficult for something like a Nikishin trade, where a Bussey deal, Bussey's awesome, but if it's 2 years, 4.5, that's a bit easier to place there and we'll figure everything else out than a longer-term deal like what we just described. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a little Canes. It's not off-season, but it's mid-season, off-season conversation. College basketball is in late season. They're on the home stretch. And tomorrow, Duke, Clemson. Number 4, Duke, hosting number 20, Clemson, when you look at national rankings. Duke's remaining 7 games. This is how I'm framing it. They have 7 games left prior to ACC tournament, of which they'll obviously have a bunch of pressure. If I'm putting a win the game and it's crazy to say that about the number 20 team in the country, but I'm starting to think Clemson might be a little overranked. Win and put your tendency breakers on film. I'm going to read to you. ESPN updated their power rankings in college basketball. This is everyone in the country ranked 1 to whatever a billion. There's a ton of FBS teams put out there, or Division I basketball teams. Their power rankings had Duke number 4. Right, they're also ranked 4th in the country by the AP poll. This is what they said. In both of Duke's losses this season, the Blue Devils have blown double-digit leads and looked far too reliant on Cameron Boozer for offense late in games. National Player of the Year is good enough to oblige, but Coach John Shire will hope Tuesday's win over Pittsburgh helps Isaiah Evans gain the form that made him one of the most dangerous wings in the conference early. And then it goes on to explain how, the first couple of games of the ACC, Isaiah Evans was lights out, and since then he's shot worse, scored less, up until Pittsburgh when he had another good game, making 5 of 6 from 3. Duke is very good. I want that to be very clear, right? I think the floor for them is 4th best team in the country. Based on what they've put on tape, what they've already shown on their record. If you want to show up and argue that they're 4th, I'm like, all right, you could have an argument. If you want to show up and say they're 1st, I think you have an argument. I don't think there's an argument for them to be 6th best in the country, and that's crazy good. I do think they're a bit predictable, right? It's I think you know how to stop them, okay, when you're looking at their offense. I don't think it's easy to stop them. I think most teams can't stop them on offense, but I think they know how to stop them, right? It's like facing a team with the best running game in the country in the NFL or in the college football. It's like, we got to stop the box. We got to tackle that guy. We got to fill our gaps. It's like, okay, we know what to do, but then sometimes you just get pushed around, right? Their offensive line says, yeah, you know where to go, and I'm not going to let you get there. It's one thing to know what to do. It's another to be able to stop them. I think most people know how to stop Duke, right? And it starts head of the snake, right? It's Cameron Boozer, and it's Gongba down low, and it's Caleb Foster with some energy, and Isaiah Evans is the shooter, and it's their roles are exceptionally well defined. But if you face a team that can perhaps match up with you talent-wise, and we're talking about the other best teams in the country, I think you want to give them some curveballs to prepare for. So the next 7 games are about putting as many tendency breakers as you can on film. In big games, in big moments, if you feel comfortable with it, give them something else to think about. Give them something else they have to prepare to stop. Make it so you're not quite as predictable. You know, have Cameron Boozer be the ball handler in a pick and roll, or have him be a decoy a few times. Have a few situations, a few differences that you can put out there. And then if you, in the biggest games, you want to go back to your bread and butter, that's fine. But at least the opposing team had to stay honest. Right? To go back to the football analogy, if you have a great running game, you have to throw the play action occasionally. Just so on 3rd and 3, when the game's on the line, the opposing team has to worry about the play action. Even if you go back to the running game because that's your bread and butter, you need to make them think. You need to make them worry about the counter.
Throw a screenplay.
Throw a screen. Throw a naked boot. Give them the rest, right? Put the tendency breakers on film. Most teams won't be able to stop your bread and butter, but on the off chance you face someone that can, you want them worried about something else. So if you can present on film, on tape, on the game court against a team seen as very good, right? Top 30-something in the net rankings, top 20 in the country, Clemson. Give them other things to worry about. They'll fall for your fastball more, right? They'll fall for your bread and butter more. This is going to sound crazy, but I think you can make it easier for Cameron Boozer. Right? Cameron Boozer is great. He's like the stability and the floor that he has on his production is the type where if he scores 17 points and has 9 rebounds, 10 rebounds on efficient shooting and plays good defense and has 4 assists, you walk away going, man, we caught him on a bad day. Now imagine if you made it easier for him by making guys not be able to double him as quickly, by making guys have to hesitate before switching or whatever it is. Put a couple tendency breakers on film. Later tomorrow, we already talked about UNC, and go catch that on you can scroll back on the live stream, catch it on YouTube, podcast, all that thing. We talked about the UNC game and the impact of the Caleb Wilson injury. That's the middle game of the 3 in the triangle at 2 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, NC State's playing Miami, hosting Miami at the Lenovo Center. Get back to doing what you were doing. The Louisville game is such a weird one. And if you are unaware, Louisville scored the second most points NC State's ever given up. That's crazy. Michael Brown Jr. scored the most points NC State's ever given up. Scored the most points in Louisville history. Broke the ACC freshman scoring record. Went 10 of 16 from 3 against State. It was a historically bad performance statistically. 2 guys, Conwell and Brown Jr. for Louisville, scored 1 less point than NC State did as a team. They scored 76 points. NC State scored 77. All of this, I'm willing to, without getting political, because I saw this was in the news, I'm willing to pardon their transgressions. I'm willing to forgive and forget that Louisville game because of the goodwill you'd built up in the I think it was 6 games prior. I'm willing to forgive and forget, move on, not acknowledge that, if you show me it was a fluke. And the way you do that is by showing up against Miami tomorrow at home and putting it to them. Doing what the United States women's hockey team is doing to Italy right now. They just scored their 6th goal of the game. It's 6-zippy. I don't anticipate a blowout of that variety, but State, if they show up and play more like they did the 6 games prior to the Louisville game, then the Louisville game, I am completely willing to burn the tape and move on. Make it Las Vegas. What happened against Louisville stays against Louisville. Now, looking at the Miami game, it's not like a pushover, right? This isn't you bring in, like Alabama does before the Auburn game every year. They play some bad Group of 5 team as like a nice little palate cleanser before the Iron Bowl. Miami is 36th in the net ranking, and I actually think this is kind of the worst game you can have for your resume. They're 36th in the net ranking, and you're playing them at your place at the Lenovo Center. So you're playing the 36th best team in the country, according to net, and you're getting a quad 2 opportunity. That's unfair. If you were playing at their spot, they could be the 68th best team in the country, and that would be a quad 1 opportunity. Right? So this is you won't be rewarded as much as you should if you win this game, aside from the fact that I'm willing to forget, and I think many are this way, willing to forget the Louisville game if you do what you should in this one. The other thing is, if you are interested in getting as many off days as possible before the ACC tournament starts, if you want to have that, the double bye, right now State is 4th in the ACC and Miami is 5th. And there's a 1-game difference between the two of you. You win this one, you put a little bit of margin of error between, and you can, I don't want to say rest comfortably, but you can be a bit more confident that you'll be in the top 4 of the ACC. Which, by the way, you may be like, yeah, but if you got to play one more, it's another opportunity for resume building win and da-da-da-da. Does anybody remember what Will Wade said during his little intro media tour? When he was convincing everybody that it wasn't a rebuild, when he was making sure everybody knew that they weren't waiting around, he said, we will be one of the top 4 teams in the ACC. If you beat Miami tomorrow, you increase your chances of finishing the regular season as one of the top 4 teams in the ACC by a bunch.
Yeah, they're currently at 4th, half game ahead of Miami.
There it is. You win. Like, it's a big game for standings. And as any competitor, and Will Wade is competitive. He might not be on the court making plays as a player, but he is a wild competitor. I don't think top 4 was an accident. I think he was thinking of that double bye. I think he was thinking of the triangle potentially occupying 3 of that top 4. I think he wanted that as a goal, and he wants to go accomplish it. This game carries a lot of weight in that.
It does, especially when we look at, like you said, ACC tournament and those kinds of things. Yep. You win this one, you get a little separation from Miami with that head-to-head win. But if you lose, you're 9-4. Louisville is at 8-4, whom you lost to, and you would also have the loss to Miami, who would then improve to 9-3. So then that puts you down in like the 5-6 category, or I'm sorry, I should say more like the 6-7 category. And then you got North Carolina coming up next week, who's 7-4, currently sitting at 7th in the ACC.
I'm with it. I mean, I agree with everything you just said, and that's why Miami is a big game for a whole bunch of reasons. For the Wolfpack at 4 o'clock tomorrow at the Lenovo Center.
Should be a fun one.
Hopefully. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, let's hear from Dennis Cox once again with something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here, real quick, from my good friends over at Law Tigers. I'm excited about the spring weather that's on its way. We can kind of feel it, starting to see the weather turn. I can't wait to pull the motorcycle out of storage. I can't wait to get back out on the motorcycle and just ride around, especially when the weather is really nice. But I do know that when the weather does warm up and motorcycles haven't been on the road in a while, people understand that, at least motorcycle riders understand that drivers out there haven't seen motorcycles out on the road for a while, so they're not really in the mindset of looking for them. As a motorcycle rider, always assume that no one sees you. Always assume that no one sees you. That way you can always be defensive and always try and ride safe. But accidents do happen. This is where Law Tigers comes in. Law Tigers, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, before you contact the insurance company. Case evaluations with Law Tigers are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Whereas the insurance companies, let's be honest, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth, but most importantly, the dangers of being on the road and what it's like to go through an accident. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Maybe you got in an accident at some point last year. Insurance company isn't doing enough, still give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They'll take a look into your case. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with Real, bold predictions. Next.
Listen for the Get That Out of Here's.
Oh, volleyball by Brown. Wow, what a defensive play.
The deep looks from downtown.
McNeil up top. Three-pointer shoot. Right away, got it, hand in his face. Oh, McNeil is white hot.
Did he just do that?
Volleyball off the window and in. Cameron Boozer taking over.
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9. The Fan, driven by Strategic Tax Resolution, Fairway Green, and Wake Med.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Back in 1989, when I first went on the radio to introduce this whole no closing cost concept, where you could actually close on your mortgage without the lender taking $15,000, I had no idea if I had created the next pet rock fad of the day or something that would define my career over the course of the next 37 years. But once mortgage rates fell from 9 down to 6, our business exploded and I never looked back. You see, a no-cost loan is the only consumer-friendly mortgage where the homeowner actually holds all the cards. Short funds to close, eliminate thousands of dollars in closing costs. Rates are now down almost 2% from the peak, but you're holding off due to the cost of a refi? Not anymore. So let's start you down that path of eliminating closing costs once and for all and keep that money where it belongs, with you. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons with Chapel Hill Tire. Great teams win because of preparation. Your car works the same way. Regular automotive service keeps everything running strong, from oil changes and brakes to alignments and inspections. It's how you avoid breakdowns and stay confident behind the wheel. At Chapel Hill Tire, our ASE certified technicians focus on the fundamentals that keep your car in the game all season long. Smart maintenance, trusted advice, work done right. With 13 locations across the Triangle, great service is always nearby. Schedule your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Did it get a little chippy on the women's hockey?
Yeah, a little bit when the U.S. scored that 6th goal. Go up 6-0. There was a little bit of contact with the goal scorer. I can't tell who it was. A little bit of contact there. I guess he may have got bumped into the goaltender, and the Italian defender didn't like the contact. So there's some pushing and shoving and cross-checking and all that stuff. But, hey, the goal still counted.
I mean, it is loser goes home.
Yeah.
They're down 6-0 at the end of the second period. Not much to lose for Italy. So United States got to resist the temptation.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. In international hockey, at least in the Olympics, a fight is an automatic ejection. And obviously there always could be a potential penalty for another lost game. So that's the thing if you're the United States you have to be wary of, is you don't want to mess with that.
Got to recognize who has more to lose. And right now it's you. It's time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Speaking on those subjects there. So I'll keep you updated on the total medal count, and then we'll double back and give you the gold medal count. In total medals, Norway and Italy are tied at the top. They each have 18 total medals as it stands right now. The United States, we are in third with 14 total medals. Austria and Japan next up with 12. So that's how it stands in total medals. When it comes to gold medals, Norway is alone in first. They have 8 gold medals. They're crazy in the Winter Games. When you look at population to medals, they're insane. I read a whole article on it. Their youth sports, according to an article, right? This is just me believing what I read. Everything on the internet's true. They do a ton of like youth sports for fun. We don't keep score. Everybody's just out there to learn. And at the sports they care about, they crank out Olympians. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah, they just basically play until about the age of 12.
Yeah, not exactly what I see at the youth sports fields for my 4-year-old.
Gosh.
In which case, I'm not going to lie that some parents go a little over the top for my liking, and I take sports as seriously as anybody.
Norway, most winter golds.
Yep. I mean,
in history.
And then they're winning this year. Right now they have 8 golds leading the way. Italy, the host country. Host countries always get a little bit of a boost, just, electricity. 6 gold medals. Then the United States, Germany, France, Sweden, and Switzerland tied in third with 4 gold medals apiece. But I'm partially because my kids are about to hit the age where like youth sports is probably going to take up most of my weekends. I am going to look into like, how is Norway so good at the biathlon? And why are they dominant at luge? And see if there's something we can take away there that could also make it more fun for my kids. How about that? Rather than let's specialize by the age of 5.5. Let's keep statistics. I saw a All-American 9U baseball list online. 9U. How do you know every American 9 and under baseball player in the country and who's the best? Like what kind? Like I don't. And why would you even say that? No kid needs to know they're that good at 9. Let them play for fun.
Neither his spin rates though.
Yes, exactly.
This kid's got launch angles.
He's had Tommy John twice, kindergarten and first grade. we got him a sliding mitt the other day. He mostly falls over when he slides, but we got him a sliding mitt. Now, by the way, completely joking. My kids will never do that. It is time for the Wake Med Winter Games, or that was time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. There you go. And a little youth sports talk here on The Drive. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How about some time for some real bold predictions? We actually don't have a ton of time for it, so we're going to skip the intro. You'll catch on. Starting with, let's get some Team USA men's hockey bold predictions. They face Denmark tomorrow, 3:10 p.m. Jacob Slavin goal. He knows Freddie. Freddie's in net for Denmark. He knows his ins and outs. He knows how to get it, how to make it happen. Team USA's facing Germany on Sunday. They got a back-to-back. Again, 3:10 p.m. Former Kane, Jake Gensel goal. 2 goals.
I was very underwhelmed by the Austin Matthews, Jake Gensel, Matthew Boldy line yesterday.
Yeah, you would think that perhaps this is more hockey related as far as why I would pick Gensel to score 2 goals in that game. Mm-hmm. I Googled Gensel name origin. It's German. Yeah. So, Gensel wants to it's ethnicity, right? You want Gensel to score against Germany. I don't know. That's why. And also he's a good player. Bold predictions on the college basketball courts. We'll go in chronological order. Number 4 Duke versus number 20 Clemson tomorrow at noon. How about Isaiah Evans? I'm going 5 or more threes. Interesting.
Because didn't he finish last game with 6?
He had 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6. That's what it was. Yeah.
But he is still shooting like 34%.
Yeah, but him hitting 5 3-pointers is not
6 or more.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
All right. I feel like I just got worked there in a negotiation, but I'll take it. UNC versus Pitt. This one is fascinating for a bunch of reasons. Big game. Got to have it for UNC coming off the loss against Miami. Caleb Wilson, who knows how long he'll be out. It's being described as indefinite with the fractured hand. We can be fairly confident he won't be playing against Pitt tomorrow at home at 2 p.m. So, Jaren Stevenson double-double. There you go. That means the opportunity is going to be there. I think he's going to get the first crack, not at replacing Caleb Wilson. Go full. You cannot replace a Jerry Bertier, right? You do not replace a Caleb Wilson, but at the minutes and the opportunity for production that Caleb Wilson was possessing. I think Jaron Stevenson will get that first crack at it, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm just banking on positivity. NC State versus Miami tomorrow, 4 p.m. Quadir Copeland, 7 or more assists. To be clear, I do have it in my notes here. This is where I flip it on you and test Dennis. 8 or more assists for Copeland. 9 or more assists for Copeland. I'm going to make you decide what is bold. 10 or more. 11 or more. 12 or more. Every once in a while, I try to flip bold predictions on Dennis, and now instead of me making a prediction, it's really about what he thinks is bold, which is what I just did there. You want to hear my favorite stat about the NC State basketball team? And I brought this up, by the way. There's a new episode of Pack Therapy out everywhere. Pack Therapy, I co-host. It's an NC State basketball pod at this part in the season. Everywhere podcasts can be found. YouTube, our 99.9 The Fan app, all of it there. Myself and Max Gorin. I brought up this stat on the pod this week. It's a bit dated now of a stat, but as of February 10th, which is 3 or 4 days ago, as far as assist-scorer combos, so like the most in the country where one player passed to another specific player, that's they call it a hookup, and that player scored. As of right now, Copeland to somebody on NC State is 3 of the top 13 most hookups in the country.
Okay.
Nobody else in the top 14 has more than 1. Jeremy Fears has 2 in the top 15, which is why I cut it off at 14. But he's also one of the leaders in the entire country in assists. Copeland to McNeil is 8th. Copeland to Williams is 11th. Copeland to Van Allen Lubin is 13th. Here's the part that's exciting to me and why I think Dennis wasn't exactly incorrect to make me go really aggressive for bold for his totals. Most of these guys, it's a great scorer and their point guard, right? It's a big man who gets post-entry passes and shoots a high percentage. It's JT Toppin from Texas Tech and his point guard. It's Malik Renault from Miami and his point guard. There's just a lot of good scorers that it's kind of, that's it. When it's Copeland and 3 different guys, that tells me he deserves more of the credit for the bucket than the bucket getter. He's looking at what you do and putting you in a situation to do what you do best, right? He's setting you up more rather than just, I'm a scorer, give me the ball, I'll score, you'll get the assist. Bada boom, bada bang. I think he's one of the more important people in the ACC this year. Not one of the best, but one of the more important. He actually might be one of the best, don't get me wrong. But for this point, might be one of the most important as far as if State can go on a run or if they can upset some teams, if they can surprise some people. And that's Real Bold Predictions here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. 12, though, is aggressive. Just want to make that to be known.
I mean, he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, he had 16, but that would have been a bold prediction to predict 16 and have it hit.
That would have been bold.
What I should have done is gone less assists, but also thrown in low turnovers. Because the 16 assist game, he had 0 turnovers, which is bananas. Maybe I could have gone 10 assist to turnover differential. Would that have worked?
What, 10-1?
Like 10 more assists than turnovers.
10 more assists than turnovers?
Or 8 more assists than turnovers. Might have been another way to get there without having to go to 12 assists, which is just a lot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is it for bold predictions. Starting 5 up next on a Friday. Stick around.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by Wake Med.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It's Heart Month. I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm here with Dr. Andrew Sampson of WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Doctor, in simplest terms, what exactly is a heart murmur, and how do you know if you have one?
So a heart murmur is just turbulent blood flow going through the different chambers of the heart. It can be completely benign, something that has no effect on your health, or it can be due to a heart valve that works inappropriately or incorrectly. And that can be due to either narrowing of the heart valve or a leaky heart valve. You typically are diagnosed with a heart murmur by your primary care doctor, who listens to your chest with a stethoscope. Once that has been evaluated and it's been determined that you do have a heart murmur, the next step is typically an echocardiogram or an ultrasound of the heart for further evaluation.
If you have more questions about heart murmurs or anything about your general heart health, go ahead and visit wakemed.org. And keep listening all month for more information and tips about heart health.
It's back, the Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands, on-site financing to get you approved and on the water, boats in stock, and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Apply stop, opt out.
Mom, can we get snacks? Unless chips are on sale for $3.99, we're in the snack drought, buddy.
Hey, remember Current? They can get us up to $750 before payday once we qualify.
Wait, $750 of our money now?
Yep, and they're even offering an extra $75 sign-up bonus right now. Set up an eligible payroll deposit and see if we qualify for an advance. No hassle, no credit checks.
Gummy worms, here we come.
Current has your back with up to $750 in paycheck advances once you qualify. And right now, get an extra $75 bonus when you set up an eligible payroll deposit. Join the millions who count on Current when it matters most. Text BALANCE to 323232 now. That's BALANCE to 323232. BALANCE to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by Fineco Advance, LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Nice to see the sunshine out there with temperatures in the 50s today. It is going to be cold tonight. Clear skies, a low of 29. A mix of sun and clouds for Valentine's Day, a high of 62. And then rain arrives Sunday with highs in the low 50s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 49 points to 49,500.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Are we still looking at 6-0 in the USA women's hockey game?
Yep.
Just waiting for the clock to tick. That's what we're going for here. USA beating Italy 6-0 women's hockey as it stands right now out there in the Winter Games. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Podcasts, clips from this show, Adam Gold Show. Special online-only content is available there. You can also catch it on our 99.9 The Fan app. Download it in the Google Play and App Store. It's completely free. There's giveaways on there. There's app-only giveaways, online-only giveaways. There's a lot of cool stuff. So please check it out. In the meantime, it is time for the starting five, just as it is every weekday at about this time here on The Fan. Let's start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
It's time for the WakeMed Winter Games medal count from Italy. The Norway-Italy tie at the top of total medals, still intact. They have 18 total medals apiece, Norway and Italy. United States in third with 14 total medals. If you're only counting gold, because if you're not first, you're last, Norway leads the way with 8 gold medals. Italy has 6. Then there's 5 countries. The United States, Germany, France, Sweden, and Switzerland are all tied in third for most gold medals. They have 4 apiece. If you're looking for something that the United States does lead in, we're dominating silver medals. We have the most silver medals of any country with 7. I don't know if that's something to celebrate, but it is something for sure.
Historically, Norway has the most winter golds of all time.
I don't concede, though. Chase them down, USA.
I'm talking by about, 30.
Like in history or per year? No, I'm fine with – we're not going to catch them in the forever long count right now, but we can beat them this year. Show up. Speaking of, by the way, that was the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Speaking of, I'm looking to – we were making this joke off air, and I'm not the only one to make the joke, but the Olympics are key for caring a ton about people you didn't know existed 2.5 weeks ago, and that you're probably going to have very little recollection of 2.5 weeks from now. But I am all in on United States star speed skater Jordan Stolz. Which, by the way, if you just put a Z in your name, his name is Stolz is spelled Stolz. You look fast. Just the Z at the end is like the fumes coming off your race car of a name. Jordan Stolz already has a gold in the 1,000-meter speed skating. In an Olympic record, by the way, 1 minute 6.28 seconds. He is also the world record in there. He could win 4 medals or 4 gold, depending on the odds where you look, which article you read. He already has the 1,000-meter. He will also be participating in the 500-meter speed skating, 1,500-meter speed skating, and something called the Mass Start, which is a relatively new speed skating event, but seems chaotic, and I think Stolz is in for it. He is a 21-year-old Wisconsinite who the New York Times tells me is as famous as an NFL quarterback is in America in the Netherlands. So if he goes to the Netherlands, he's Tom Brady over there. He's Patrick Mahomes over there. And apparently that's not just because he's awesome, but because the sport creates stars over there. So give me Jordan Stolz to help us chase down Norway. If he takes care of business in the 3 more events that he has, we're only 1 behind Norway in gold medals. Now, granted, they would have to not win any along the way, but I'm all in on Jordan Stolz. Let's go Stolzy. Didn't know he existed 2 weeks ago. Now it's my guy. USA. That is number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
You have got to be kidding me.
North Carolina, meaning state of. North Carolina legend. Chris Paul, high school legend in the state of North Carolina. Wake Forest legend during his college career. Reps North Carolina with his AAU team quite often that he funds and runs and has his name. Officially retiring from the NBA. Announced today. First of all, flowers, right? Give him all the credit in the world. He is an inner circle all-time point guard. You can decide where he ranks amongst the legends. Okay. Did you just get the same update on ESPN that I did? All right. Well, we're going to come back talking about Chris Paul. I refuse to not give him his flowers. This comes from the ESPN app. Breaking news. American figure skater Ilya Malinin, who apparently was expected to do some things for us, stumbled in the free skate, resulting in a shocking 8th place finish. He was the favorite for gold.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fell. Stumbles.
It happens.
Gosh darn it, Ilya, this is another one. Didn't know he existed 2 weeks ago. Now I'm frustrated for him. That's going to eat away at him. Going back to Chris Paul. You can decide, we can have the debates where he ranks all time in history. He's one of the greats. There's a few things that are bummers to me when it comes to Chris Paul. One, he never got a championship. He is a championship quality player, never got a championship. Both he and this has been one of my little pet theories for a long time. He and Tim Duncan at Wake Forest, they got bit by timing. I think Wake Forest with Chris Paul and Wake Forest with Tim Duncan were the best teams in the country in like early January. And then for whatever reason, they didn't keep up that momentum into the tournament, and it faltered, and they didn't show their best in the postseason as a team, even though they did. But if by happenstance, the season were a couple months shorter, I think they had a good chance at winning national championships, but it's just about peaking at the right time, not peaking at the right time. So he didn't get the college national championship. Goes to the NBA where, you can say he wasn't a championship level player or whatever. He didn't have the ring. The guy impacted winning. It's not like he would go to the super teams, right, and not win championships. He was going to more abound franchises and turning them into like conference championship quality teams pretty darn immediate. He went to the Hornets, right? And then all of a sudden, like him, David West, and Tyson Chandler are one of the best teams in the country. And it's like, really?
The New Orleans Hornets.
The New Orleans Hornets. Then he was they
Pelicans.
Went through a whole bunch of stuff. He goes to the Clippers. The Clippers. By the way, while he's there, his owner's getting ousted for racial comments on secret spy, whatever, and he turns the Clippers into one of the best teams in the NBA. He goes to the Thunder, turns them around, impacts Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a mentor. Now he's MVP, and they're winning championships. He goes to the Suns, immediately turns them around to a winner. He goes to Houston. Like every team he went to, these were not the traditional powers, and he just impacted winning. So it's a bummer that he never got a championship, because obviously he's a player that helps his teams win more than their talent level says they should. And then the other bummer is how it ended. Right? You do get the feeling that very few athletes get to truly end their career on their own terms, right? Most athletes, the game tells you you're retired rather than you deciding you're retired. And that goes for, players that wanted to play in college but didn't get the offers, or wanted to play in the pros but didn't get drafted, or whatever. And then obviously a lot of players, go into the offseason like, I wonder where I'm going to be playing next year. And then their agent has to tell them, nobody called. Turns out you're retired. Chris Paul seemed like one of the guys that should be able to decide when to hang him up, and he did right at the beginning of this year. He said, after this year, I'm out, but then the Clippers didn't like the way he was operating, I guess. Kind of just told him he wasn't going to play anymore in the middle of the night, ended up trading to the Raptors. The Raptors are looking to buy. He retired. And I don't know, it's a bummer. Like I want Chris Paul to know when he walked off the court, it was going to be the last time he walked off a court as an NBA player. And I don't think he did. But also, I think it's $440 million in career earnings. So this sad song is going on a very, very small violin that we play for Chris Paul. Anything you want to say? I feel like I'm giving a eulogy here.
No, I think you hit it all in the head.
Basketball eulogy for a state of North Carolina legend. Actually, I didn't mention maybe not the coolest, but one of the first things I remember hearing about Chris Paul was a story of his grandpa and the tragedy of his grandpa was murdered at 61 years old, and then he goes out his next high school basketball game, scores 61 points, and that was not like he was a guy that averaged 30 something. And he has the free throws, right? Everybody, I mean, if you don't know the story, go watch. I think it's like an E60 or something on it. One of those old ESPN, I think Tom Rinaldi, you're going to tear up packages. But he had the free throws, makes the first to score 61, rolls the ball back to the ref, walks off the court in tears. I mean, it's emotional to watch the story. And to go from that to where he is now is pretty darn impressive.
Not to make light of what you just said, I just know he'll be remembered around here for what he did to Julius Hodge.
There's also that.
Just saying. We'll leave it at that.
And yeah, we'll leave it at that. And also doing all of that at, probably generously 6 foot. Not the LeBron out there who's, 6'8", 6'9", 260, obvious. He had to get by with talent and a little bit of, wily veteran tricks even back in college that Dennis may have described. wily might be a generous way to describe it. There you go. That is number 4 of the starting 5. Let's get to number 3.
Looks to the right, a screen from Evans. Feeds it to him on the left for 3. Got it! Isaiah Evans showing off in the Garden.
Duke versus Clemson tomorrow. It's another opportunity for Duke to establish themselves as the favorite in the ACC. But as you're about to hear from Wes Durham here, who joined the Adam Gold Show earlier today, Wes Durham, voice of the ACC, he'll be on the call for State Miami tomorrow, I believe. So that's why he's back in the area. As you're about to hear, it's not as, the past couple of years in the ACC, it's been, to use to adjust a phrase from the movie Moneyball, it's been Duke, 50 feet of crap, and then everybody else. There's not that 50 feet this year. It is a better conference. It is more touch and go for Duke for that reason. Here's Wes Durham with Adam Gold earlier today.
Look, I think Duke should be the favorite to finish the regular season as the winner. They would be my favorite today to get to a Final Four. But I think the ACC, Adam, has 5 or 6 teams that can get to the second weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can get to the second weekend, this league makes a statement again about where it is and where its basketball prowess lies.
It'll make a statement again, but it is a different statement than what's been made recently by the ACC. Right? The way the ACC has made their statement in the last handful of years to the nation is it doesn't matter how few teams you put in the tournament, we're going to have one playing in the Final Four. Like, that's been how the ACC reminds everybody that they're a major conference, right? A major college basketball powerhouse. This year is the first time in a while that it feels like, yeah, you could send 5 teams to the Sweet 16, right? You could have a bunch of teams playing deep to show off the depth a little bit. And what that also means is there's more teams that can catch you if you're those top level, right? Rather than 2 or 3 teams that can catch you in the ACC, there might be 7 or 8 teams that can catch you, or 9 or 10 teams that can catch you in the ACC. So Duke better be on their P's and Q's. Clemson is definitely one of them. I don't know if they are as impressive as maybe they looked earlier in the season. I think some of their flaws have been exposed, but Duke's going to have to play good basketball if they want to win this one, particularly, cover the spread, win by a good amount. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. McNeil Jr., 2 seconds on the shot clock. 1. Presto.
Just because you know don't mean you can stop it.
NC State is definitely one of those teams that can catch you. Right? They're good enough. They're top. They're best. Their A game is pretty darn good. But also, as we learned against Louisville on Monday, NC State's floor could be quite low. They got beat by Louisville by a bunch. But if you look at the games prior to that, they were on a little run of beating up on the rest of the ACC. They take on Miami tomorrow at 4. This is a big game. Not only a big game for their confidence level, it's a big game to once again show that they can bounce back. They've done that a few times this year already. But as we established earlier, if NC State wants to finish in the top 4 of the ACC, which was a stated goal from Will Wade when he took over the job, right? To finish in the top 4 in the ACC this year. It wasn't vague. It was, right? Sometimes you got to write the goal down so you have something to go chase, right? You write the check so you have to work so hard to cash it. He said top 4. If they are going to be a top 4 team in the ACC, particularly in the regular season, in the final standings, this game against Miami has a lot of importance. Right now, State is 4th. They are in position to make good on that promise. But Miami is 5th, and they're hot on the tails, right? It's what, a half game. North Carolina, Virginia are the next teams up. State needs a little bit of breathing room between them and everybody else chasing them if they want to finish in 4th. And also, they want to remind everybody that game against Louisville was a fluke. Or at least they want to prove to everybody that game against Louisville was a fluke. They want to convince everybody that game against Louisville was a fluke. So this contest against Miami becomes pretty darn important. Now, for Miami, Malik Renault is a really good scorer. And he's probably licking his chops, right? He's like a 20-point-per-game scorer. Like, he's a legit scorer. And the reason why I say he's probably licking his chops is because other teams' best scorers have really good results against State, right? There's 4 or 5 guys this year that have put together career outings against NC State. And a lot of them fit into the mold. I mean, Michael Brown Jr., Louisville, maybe the best example of good scorers that aren't unbelievable three-point shooters, put up gigantic scoring numbers, including a lot of really good three-point shooting against State. So Malik Renault, being a Miami player, a good scorer, career-wise, kind of mediocre to below-average three-point shooter, a little bit better this year, but he's probably licking his chops going, is this my turn to score 40? That's what you do against State, right? Is this my turn to put up 38? I'm here for it. And State has to prove that they're not that team, right? That's a bad reputation to have. We're the team everybody breaks records against. I think I've used this analogy before, but it's one of my favorite. Me and my buddies, and we haven't celebrated it in a while, but there's 4 of us. We have a holiday, personal holiday called PR Day, Personal Record Day. Because now we're looking at like 12, 13 years ago. We all played a round of golf. We all kept our own scores, honor system, but we kept them legit. And at the end of the round, I was talking to the guy who I was in a cart with, and I was like, I just shot my PR. I just shot my personal record. That's the best round of golf I ever played in my life. And he totaled his up and went, I did too. So then we started talking trash to the other cart. We went, I don't know what you're doing over there. We're shooting PRs over here. They did their math. They said, so did I. So did I. We went, PR Day. Next year, same time, we're playing. This is the best day ever. We all shot our PR. Do you know what we probably should have done? We all kind of willingly ignored. Probably just a really easy course, right? If all 4 of us shot the best round we've ever shot, it's probably more about the track than the runner. You know what I mean? So if everybody against NC State has like a career game for their highest scorer, might say more about NC State than it does about the golfer. You know what I mean? So they got to shore some things up, right? That greenskeeper's got to start putting some more difficult pin placements, make it more difficult on the golfers, if you kept up with that analogy. By the way, local guy, Akshay Bhatia, first place right now out there in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Second round nearing its close, not over yet, but that's an elevated event, which means I believe the winner gets about $4.5 million. Bhatia lives in Wake Forest. Good for the economy if he gets that fat check. Still a lot of golf to be played. That is number 4. Let's get to number 2. Let's get to number 1. Yeah. Go ahead and do it. Yep.
Rebound chased down by Wilson. Doesn't have the numbers. The freshman going to go anyway. And holy smokes, he just sunk their battleship with that one.
So here's the deal, everybody. It's Friday, and I mess up the numbers on starting 5 all the time.
It's all right.
UNC is number 1. They are taking on Pitt tomorrow. It is a 2:00 p.m. start. But really the story of the game, I mean, I don't want to say Pitt is nameless, faceless opponent, but Pitt is nameless, faceless opponent. UNC has to focus on UNC, and they have to focus on life without Caleb Wilson. If you missed it yesterday, the news broke. Caleb Wilson, their best player, and I say that confidently, it was revealed that in the previous game against Miami, the loss, really tough game for them, he broke his hand, fractured his hand is the word used, and he is out indefinitely. Wes Durham, who was on with Adam Gold, more audio from that conversation. Here he is talking about where Caleb Wilson's loss will be felt most.
The production thing takes care of itself from the offensive end, okay? Mm-hmm. Guys will get shots, whether it's Jaron Stevenson pulling a Virginia now more than not, or Zayden High more minutes. Maybe it's Jaden Young. Maybe it's Jonathan Powell, whatever. Carolina comes down to Caleb Wilson was one of your best defensive rebounders, your block shot leader. He was a presence with energy. Seth Trimble is a terrific leader. That's why Hubert Davis was emotional last Saturday night. To me, who's the guy that's going to take the composite minutes of Wilson that turn into production on the defensive end and with just energy in the ball game?
I do have perhaps an update for the Caleb Wilson and Carolina fans out there. This is the first reporting I've seen on any kind of a timeline, but Inside Carolina has this. I'll just read it directly from the Inside Carolina report, so shout out to them. Greg Barnes, the reporter who wrote it. All right, there we go. Multiple sources have confirmed to Inside Carolina that Wilson is indeed expected to return to the court this season. The injury will not require surgery, according to two sources. Again, Inside Carolina sources, not mine. That determination has led to an expected time frame of 3 to 4 weeks for Wilson's return, according to Inside Carolina sources, according to Greg Barnes sources. 3 to 4 weeks is lovely if you're a Carolina fan.
3 weeks from tomorrow is the second Duke-Carolina matchup to close out the regular season.
And if you
the one at Cameron.
And if you average that, you're talking about perhaps the beginning of the ACC tournament.
So, yeah.
4 weeks, you're at least back by NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 4 weeks from today is the semifinals of the ACC tournament.
3 to 4. I know that obviously it's not fun to go, we're going to be without our best player for the rest of the regular season and perhaps the ACC tournament. But if you told me right now I can guarantee you he'll be back for the NCAA tournament, I would trade any other game for that.
Sure.
Like if you're Carolina, Caleb Wilson is the type of guy who changes your chance at a national championship. Like he can put a team on his back. And definitely you talk Final Fours and everything, which if you talk to former Carolina players, like that's how you measure success is banners. Obviously ACC championships as well, so you would love to have him back for the ACC championship. And ironically, probably the third way that you would say you measure success is how'd you do against Duke?
Yeah, there's that.
So 3 weeks potentially there. I said this yesterday, but I'll emphasize it once again. There's no doubt in my mind Caleb Wilson is going to try everything he can to come back as early as possible because that's the way he's wired, and everything we've seen and heard about him is he'll put his body on the line. Carolina has to, and I believe they will, be a safeguard there and keep his future. Like he's got a lucrative future. He's got an NBA future, and they have to have some responsibility to make sure that there's no unnecessary risk being taken and you're not rushing back for a game, for pride reasons. But if he's good to go, trainers say good to go, he says good to go, his support system says good to go, that return would be electric if his first game back is at Cameron against Duke. Even if it's at the ACC tournament, the buzz in that building would be absolutely electric. And Carolina fans, I mean, you want to go down as a legend in a college environment, put your body on the line, return from an injury, go play well. One-handed. Heck, go play well one-handed. Tell them to dunk everything. Tomahawk style. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have numbers game coming up. We'll be gathering those contestants in a second. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Injuries in sports, things breaking down in your house, the unexpected, right? And nobody wants to plan for the unexpected, but you need someone to plan for the unexpected, right? Coaches have to have contingency plans. What if this guy gets hurt? What if this guy gets in foul trouble? You need contingency plans. What if your heating system breaks down? What if your plumbing breaks down when you have the whole family over for a Sunday dinner? Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Consider that like point guard, shooting guard, big man, assistant coach. I don't know. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Your contingency plan is this simple. Call Maynard Service Company. That's it. Now your plan is intact. Just make sure you have the number saved in your phone. Make sure you have the website as one of your favorites. So if the bad thing happens, which you don't want to think about but you want to be planned for, call Maynard Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Now, as promised, we need numbers game contestants. We still have, this is your last chance at Godsmack tickets. We have a pair of tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. If you want to win that pair of tickets, you got to call in now. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 for your chance to play the numbers game, win the glory of victory, and tickets to see Godsmack. Call 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Move your sports day forward.
Even with no moves by the Olympic roster freeze day, don't believe the Canes front office isn't answering the door on potential additions and seeing who's on the other side. You know that door knock, right? Sometimes it's the Girl Scouts with cookies. Sometimes it's a misdelivered package. If it's the latter, you hope you've got a good neighbor to work with and maybe you still get something out of it.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Prize for today, as I stated earlier, tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy when they come through Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. A pair of tickets going to the winner. To win, you just have to have some excellent numbers game trivia. Frank and Clayton, Holden and Willow Spring are the contestants. As always, we will bring them each onto the show. We will ask them the same question. Dennis will be the judge today. He'll pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first, and we'll go from there. Frank and Clayton, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. The question to get things started is, today is Friday, weekend coming up. What are you looking forward to most about the weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related.
Okay, I guess continuation of watching the Olympics, especially the men's hockey, and then also big golf fan. Pebble Beach is on TV right now, and I played there a few years ago, so I like to reinvent some of the shots that I might have had there. So,
I'm a golf fan. I have to ask, what'd you shoot?
88.
Okay,
89.
Hey, broke 90. You'll take it. Yeah. I don't know how good a golfer you are, but it's better than being on the other side of 90. Dennis, any follow-up?
None.
All right, there you go. We go to Holden in Willow Spring. Holden, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, perfect. Same question to you. It is a Friday. We are staring at the weekend upcoming. What are you looking forward to most about the weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related.
Awesome. Looking forward to NC State doing what UNC couldn't do and taking down Miami.
All right. I like the little rivalry trash talk in there as well. Dennis, any follow-ups?
None.
All right, cool. Then we have Frank and Clayton or Holden and Willow Springs. Which one you rolling with?
These are both fantastic answers because of the Olympics, but also the flex there from Frank. Hey, I shot under 90 at Pebble Beach. I mean, props to you on that, by the way, 100%. But I'm gonna go with the local here. I'm gonna go with the NC State basketball. I'm definitely gonna go with the local one first, even though USA Hockey dominating.
It's actually complete now, right?
It is done.
All right.
6-0.
Team USA women's hockey wins 6-0 against Italy. That was an elimination game, so United States advances, and Italy, I would say, goes home, but they're already home.
That's true.
They are the host country. Now, Holden and Willow Spring gets to go first, right?
Yes.
All right, Holden, you get to go first. Frank, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold, ironically. Holden, are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right. The categories are NFL Panthers throughout history, NFL players that were born in February, NBA players, no jerseys lower than 30, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Go NBA players greater than 30.
All right. No jersey numbers lower than 30. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No questions.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Luka Doncic, Los Angeles Lakers.
77.
Correct. Karl Anthony Towns, New York Knicks.
32.
Correct. Jared Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers.
55.
Incorrect. Ivica Zubac, Los Angeles Clippers.
11.
Incorrect. Jared Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers.
37.
Incorrect. Ivica Zubac, Los Angeles Clippers.
Pass.
Sadiq Bey, New Orleans Pelicans. Well, you got two. You got Doncic, you got Towns. Allen, 31. Zubac, 40. Bey, 41 for those of you playing at home. But 2 is the lead in the clubhouse. Holden, we appreciate it. No pun intended on your name. Just stay on hold, and we'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Frank and Clayton. Frank, are you there?
I am here.
All right. Categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players, Carolina Panthers throughout history, NFL players born in February, or NHL players, Hurricanes throughout history.
Canes throughout history.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. And you do need at least 3 for the win. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, we're all set.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes.
20.
Correct. Tony D'Angelo, Carolina Hurricanes.
77.
Correct. Andrei Kovalenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
52.
Incorrect. Stephen Halko, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Andrei Kovalenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
51.
Correct. Joey Tedarenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Incorrect. Stephen Halko, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Joey Tedarenko, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. You were close on Halko the first time. You said 15, I think, and we would have accepted 14 or 28. So your first miss on Kovalenko and your first miss on Halko were both one off. I was like, this guy's close. You weren't as close with Tedarenko, though. That 33 is what we were looking for there. I think you threw 70 something out.
Yes, sir.
But you did get 3, so you are the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Godsmack tickets with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy are yours. Just stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
Thank you much.
All right. That was well played. Solid Friday edition of the numbers game. We had an up and down week as far as how everybody performed, but good on those guys for handling their business. As you heard us say right before, or actually in the middle of kind of the numbers game, Team USA women's hockey pretty darn dominant as far as their first knockout round win or first knockout round game, 6-0 over Italy. The United States they've been on a tear in the women's hockey as far as this Olympics goes out there in Italy. But you know, everybody that's ever been in a single elimination tournament knows you can be winning by 100. It only takes one bad game, so they got to stay locked in. This was definitely one of those games. At one point in time, they were up 18-2 in shots on goal and getting good looks, and it was 1-0 because Italy's goaltender was making some plays, making some unbelievable saves. And the United States just stayed the course, and eventually the lid came off and they lit it up.
I think the shot total was 50-something to 6.
That's I mean, I don't even want to act like I'm surprised. That's Team USA doing what Team USA does.
I'm not shocked.
That's good. That's a decent day at the office for Team USA. Do we know when they're up next? Do we know the schedule? The men play tomorrow and also on Sunday, but they're still in pool play. They're not in an elimination time yet. So they'll be facing Denmark tomorrow. Some familiar faces on the other side. Nikolai Ehlers from the Canes will be on their projected top line, and Freddie Anderson will actually be in net tomorrow for Denmark as they take on Team USA. And then Germany on Sunday is the next team up. But again, that's all still pool play on the men's side. The women are further along.
Women's ice hockey does not take place again, I believe, not until Monday. Monday's the semifinals are on Monday, and then the gold medal match is going to be on Thursday next week.
Which
so you get a couple of days off between games.
Does open up what I think is one of the coolest parts of any Olympic Games, which is if they wanted to, they could go watch the men tomorrow. Right? I love it when I see athletes at other events and like cheering and being fans and everything because they don't get to do that very often. Right? It's not like if the Canes play at Boston and then they have an off day the next day and Boston's playing the Wild the next night, they like stick around and watch and cheer on. Like it just doesn't happen, right? And it's rare. Like Xavier Legette from the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, going to a Canes game last offseason was like huge news in the offseason. In the Olympics, that stuff happens every day, right? If I were an athlete in the Olympics and had off days where it wouldn't hurt my preparation, you're darn right I'm checking out curling. I'm absolutely going to go try to watch a world record get broken in the luge or do whatever I got to do to take in the Olympic experience. So I think it'd be really cool if the women, after a 6-0 victory, try to pass along some of that juju, some of those vibes by watching the men against Denmark tomorrow.
I know the men's team was at the last women's game when they played Canada. They were there.
Yep, they showed at least we were watching it together. They showed Slavin and we're like, hey, there's Jacob Slavin, which is pretty darn cool. Actually, that was going on during our show.
Actually.
We were watching it together as if we weren't sitting in these exact same seats.
I said Jacob Slavin. You're like, what? Bad news? I was like, nope, they just showed him on television.
In my defense, let's
okay.
There's very little breaking news that you could learn about Jacob Slavin right now that would be of the awesome variety, right? Like, hey, Jacob Slavin is like, what? Right? Because he's playing, right? And your mind jumps to the bad stuff. So you said that, and there wasn't a game going on. So it couldn't have been like, hey, he scored 2 goals or anything. Like, hey, just killed another penalty. He wasn't playing. So if I just hear excitement and Jacob Slavin, I'm worried until I know that you were just saying he was in the stands watching the women's game. And then it's, that's great. That's awesome. I'm happy for him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's only one thing left to do, everybody. Send you off into the weekend the right way by making some picks. So we'll do that right after this.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I absolutely think Seattle has what it takes to go back-to-back. They are going to have turnover at the offensive coordinator position with Clint Kubiak, but we have seen the emergence of Mike McDonald, a defense that is so nasty. We believe in Sam Darnold in a different way. So many great pieces on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and now they have that championship DNA.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Kid Rock. A celebration 250 years in the making. Freedom 250 Tour. The Road to Nashville. Friday, May 8th at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. With Brantley Gilbert. And them Dirty Roses. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
American Badass!
The ultimate American party. Presented by Live Nation.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and priced to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
When sleep isn't working, everything feels harder. Your health, your patience, your focus, even your relationships. I'm Megan Giggling with Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Too often, people are told to wait months or even years just to talk to a sleep specialist. But untreated sleep problems don't wait. At Parkway, care begins within weeks with home sleep studies and fast, coordinated support so people can move forward instead of staying stuck. Better sleep changes everything.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. But why do they call it Dauntless Transmissions? Well, dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Now, the experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Valentine's Day Eve, everybody.
Friday the 13th. We have not addressed that yet.
Yeah, but do you count that for every month?
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
I mean,
to
when
me,
it
like, are you
happens.
saying like it's spooky?
Well, it's, bad things tend to happen, right, on Friday the 13th?
I
So that's supposed to be an unlucky day?
I traditionally only count that on October.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm the foremost expert on the subject, but it happens too often. If you just take any month, it's like, what are we supposed to be like? Bad luck, like 2 times a year, every year? Like it's I don't know. It just seems. But October, if it happens, then it's like, ooh, October is just a spookier month.
Interesting how it comes a day before. You're supposed to.
Oh, so you're saying there's some connection to Valentine's Day and this being a spooky Valentine's Day?
The bad luck and there's the luck, I'm saying.
So if somebody has some big romantic gesture planned that might have long-term effects tomorrow, you're perhaps suggesting to go get a garlic and a steak before you do it?
I don't know if you got to go that far, but
Just saying. All right, we'll see. I mean, you're going to play Let's Get It On and then go right into spooky stuff.
Hey, there might be some long-term ramifications. I don't know.
Underrated. I don't know why this popped because it's not the same song. It's a different song of the same genre. Underrated movie scene that is not like the movie is okay, but I laugh at this particular scene every time. Have you seen? I think it's called I Spy, maybe, with Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Eddie Murphy is a boxer. Anyway, it's like a spy movie. And at one point in time, Owen Wilson, who's playing a very nerdy character, is trying to seduce a woman. And Eddie Murphy is in the earpiece, so he's like feeding him what to say. And he starts singing Sexual Healing, saying like, say this. And Owen Wilson is just reading the lyrics like he's just saying them. And it's so awkward, but I laugh every gosh darn time. And it's one of those like mediocre movies that I will watch it for like a half hour to get to that scene because I laugh so hard every time. I don't know. I think it's very, very funny. Anyway, we got to make picks. So let's go ahead which, by the way, sometimes happens, actually, now that I think about it.
What?
Because Dennis actually has a button to press where he would talk into my headphones, but nobody else would hear it.
That's true.
It's kind of similar to the Owen Wilson, Eddie Murphy situation in the movie. I don't think it's called I Spy, but it's something like that.
Sounds like Hitch.
Yeah, similar to Hitch. Although different. Either way, the Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, every single Friday at the end of our drive show in the 5 o'clock hour, about 5:45, we make picks. Dennis sets them up. Go ahead.
All right, let's actually go into some winter games. U.S. men's hockey tomorrow against Denmark.
I don't know what the lines are. I don't gamble on the Olympics enough. Because I'm invested. Like if Team USA's in there, I don't need to gamble. I'm already all invested. But I would expect Team USA to win this one. Multiple goals. I don't want to disrespect one of our guys, Freddie Anderson, but he's in net, and Team USA they've got some talent that can score the puck out there. So it should be a score fest for USA.
USA is 3.5 goal favorites. 3.5 goal favorites.
I think they cover.
You think they cover?
5-1.
That's fair. Nikolai Ehlers gets the 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. And Freddie gets the assist. Secondary assist.
Imagine that. Freddie comes back from the Olympics. Even though Jacob Slavin's going to have gold around his neck, he's going to be like, I have more assists than you, buddy.
Exactly.
Take notes.
You're welcome, Ehlers. You wouldn't even have that goal against U.S. without me.
That would actually be pretty awesome.
I know.
Actually, 100% would be okay with that. All right, let's go straight to the hardwoods here. Before that, Sunday, men's hockey versus Germany.
I know less
line on that one.
I know less about Germany. I know that they have probably more NHL players than a good amount of the
Leon Draisaitl, Tim Stützle.
Yeah, good amount of the.
They got some dudes
outside of the couple obvious ones. They're probably up there as far as NHL talent. So I'll go 4-1. The one is probably Draisaitl.
Right. All right, buddy, we'll give you that one. We'll give him that one.
That's not a hope. That's more of like I can prepare myself emotionally. I'll go 4-1. U.S. gets the win.
Let's hit some college basketball. ACC, let's go right here into the Triangle. By the way, all three Triangle teams in action tomorrow at home, including Duke.
Every 2 hours. Start at noon. Every 2 hours, we're getting another game in the Triangle started.
Boom, boom. All right, here, real quick before we get into the picks. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Correct.
Guys, if you want to watch the games, you better be cooking breakfast.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, it's the thought that counts.
Waffles with bacon. You make it yourself. Make it from scratch, or pancakes, buttermilk. Make it happen with bacon. Make it from scratch. Have the flowers, all that kind. Do it all in the morning. Get in the good graces. Take care of all the stuff you got to do early in the morning. Babe, you just sit and relax. And then you can just say it.
I don't hate the move. I don't hate the move at all. I thought you were going to say, like, if you want to watch the games, you just have to sit there and go, like, I'm as dependable for you as Cameron Boozer. If you were to leave, I'd miss you more than UNC misses Caleb Wilson when he's hurt.
Right.
I thought you were going that way. But no, that's actually, you went with real advice.
I'll be there to carry you like Quadir Copeland.
Yeah, exactly.
When
you need an assist, I'll be your Copeland. All right, let's get back to the picks. How romantic can you be talking about college basketball?
Hey, you know what?
Turns out I'm not very.
Yeah, well, there's that, I guess. All right, Duke at home against Clemson. Top 20 matchup. Duke, 12.5-point favorites at Cameron. Noon tip.
I mean, Duke wins. I'll start there. 12.5 is a lot.
Yeah. Especially for a team that's struggling to score.
Clemson's a bit better than the teams they've been beating recently, and it's been close to that, right? It's been 14. It's been 16. And Pittsburgh and Boston College and Virginia Tech are not Clemson. So I guess I'll take Clemson to cover, but Duke will still win, and it won't be a one-possession game at the end, but they'll have to make their free throws.
By the way, if Clemson wins this game, they're actually being first in the ACC.
And I'm sure Duke is aware of that.
Yeah.
So I think they'll take care of business. But again, they need to score. They need to be a little bit more dominant than what we've seen recently for me to put them back at the top of national championship odds and everything.
All right, let's go from Durham down to Chapel Hill, North Carolina at home in the Dean Dome, taking on Pitt. Pitt just 9-16 this season. Pitt's actually trying to just make the ACC tournament right now. UNC, even without Caleb Wilson, 11.5-point favorites at home against the Panthers.
It's been a while since I've explained my theory of the one-game bump. When a head coach is fired and the interim is a beloved assistant, when a star player is hurt and everybody has to rally in his stead, there's usually a one-game bump of just incredible energy and juice. Everybody's rallying. It's borderline win one for Caleb. Which makes it sound like he's paralyzed or something when actually he broke his hand. He fractured his hand. But the one game after, I don't even think that's a long-term implication. I think they could play great with great energy. It's really the second game where you have to start settling in and going. So yeah, I think they cover against Pitt. I think they win. I think they play with their hair on fire. It'd be the next game that I'd be more worried about for UNC.
Okay, let's then go from Chapel Hill and to Raleigh to the Lenovo Center, where NC State takes on Miami. This is actually a spot for a top 4 spot in the ACC standings. NC State, 6.5-point favorites at home in the Lenovo Center.
This one's interesting. It's interesting for a lot of reasons.
I don't know what to think of that line. I really don't.
Miami, not only is State a confusing one just off of the Louisville game, Miami is a confusing one overall. They're seen as good, but they really, outside of the Carolina win, which I attribute more to Carolina not playing well than Miami playing great, they don't have a ton of good wins. So give me State They cover, but it's close. It's a 7 or 8 point win for State.
All right, let's actually go to some more top 25, and in particular, a top 10 matchup. Kansas on the road at Iowa State. Kansas ranked 9th, Iowa State 5th in the country. It's a 1 o'clock tip-off tomorrow, by the way. Iowa State at home, 5.5 point favorites.
Do we know if Darren Peterson is playing?
Great question.
Because he's good. But also, Kansas beat Arizona without him. But I wonder if I know he's been out a lot, but that was a new one. I wonder if that's not a one-game bump situation. If Darren Peterson doesn't play, I think Iowa State wins. If Darren Peterson does play, I think he's good enough to kind of move lines and give Kansas a much better chance. It appears here that he's not expected to. Obviously, nothing's official. So if he doesn't play, actually, no, he might be expected to play. That's my official stance. I don't have the, updated news in front of me. My notes are a little dated.
I think either way, ACC teams, or at least teams in the triangle as well, should be rooting for Kansas to win because it boosts them. So we should be rooting for Kansas.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, that win over Arizona did help the 3 teams in the triangle's net ranking.
It's true.
It's as dumb as that sounds. Because Kansas was able to overcome a sickness by their best player to beat Arizona, who was previously undefeated. That helps NC State. And I don't.
It's weird.
I mean, the logic is there, but I don't like it.
It's weird, but it's true. All right, I'm going to throw another hockey game at you. We're going to go back to the Winter Games. Tomorrow, Sweden versus Slovakia. Both these teams, the way group play is all set up, desperately need a win. Because if you want to get a pass into the quarterfinals, you got to win your group. Sweden's 1-1 right now.
Am I the only one that I was looking at these teams? It seems like Canes fans, we did the whole almost Canes lineup of people that Canes fans wanted to trade for. A lot of Swedish people. Pedersen, Lindholm, some even Eriksson Ek. There's a lot of players. Erik Karlsson. There's a lot of players that Canes fans wanted to trade for on Sweden. So as in honor of our almost Canes roster from last week, I'm going to go ahead and rock with Sweden in this one, but there's no real reason for that. That about does it for us here on The Drive. We do have Overdrive coming up next. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy some great college basketball tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day to all of the love bugs out there. And we'll see you on Monday. Until then, subscribe to our YouTube, please, 99.9 The Fan, and download our app, our phone app, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it, Google Play, App Store, 5-star ratings, all of that. Thank you to Dennis for keeping us up and running. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great night, everybody.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
It is Heart Health Month, and I'm here with Bethany Usowitz. She is from WakeMed Cardiac Rehab, where she is an exercise physiologist. She's here to answer some questions for us, like what is cardiac rehab and what does it all entail?
Yeah, big question, cardiac rehab. It's rehabilitation, so typically post-cardiac event or post-surgery,